referred to it as, is basically a barren wasteland of PS3 era textures. There are some different biomes to vary up the look, but it's all just different shades of uninspired crags and rocks. Some biomes have weather effects like rain or spot action that boost or drains certain parameters of your mech. This is nifty on the gameplay front, but still doesn't offset how bland and samey the environments are in this game. The visuals in general look 2 generations stuck in the past. Even the anime-adjacent art style has trouble making up for the low-quality textures, the lack of environmental details, and trap locations overall. At least the mechs do look rad because hardly anything else really does. But beyond the bland open world aesthetic, the studio has managed to more or less craft a functional open world structure on its first large scale attempt. Fast travel in particular is expertly implemented. As you explore regions of the map, which are often separated by tunnel systems, you come across byways overrun by enemies. Byways are your fast travel points. Once liberated, these can be freely warped to anywhere on the map screen, providing instant fast travel across the world. It's a convenient way to encourage exploration while cutting down on needless travel time. Speaking of, the world map itself is more or less average in size by today's game standards. It doesn't feel too overblown or commercially too small. It's just too bad the environmental design is so lacking here. While the terrain doesn't seem copy and pasted, it again lacks identity across its biomes, feeling sort of like a giant barren wasteland. I don't actually love about it, but I guess they do call it all for a reason. Some of the activities you can engage with while roaming the overworld include world bosses, stray skirmishes, beacon signals, side missions, and what is useful for its ability to craft various materials.
Don't be shy. Like this. Come on. Keep up.
Hey, stop it.
Sorry. That way, wake you up. Hey, you want me to go to
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. All safety. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Oh yeah, I lost my bike. My bike came back! Aww.
SAM port bridges. Storing. Rest. Advised. Scan. Have a pleasant journey. Weapons restrictions lifted.
I got a baby. Look at it. It's the tube.
So I did 120 squats.
When,
What do you mean,
like right now.
Oh,
That's what I'm like.
3 days. It's 120.
Oh, okay. No, that's what I'm saying. I thought you were talking about now. I'm like, when you did 112. I was like, what? That's my pain in the butt. Transmission and go.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
I forgot to tell you. Well, one of our students said, mine said Miss Missy. It was Ava. She's like, she told Miss Missy and Missy told me, and I'm like, well, I had both of my teachers from last year. She said, okay, so she's in BBK, Missy's in BBK. I currently is,
I didn't expect you to be naked.
upgrading to BBK. And they actually had me, the office, go to, what's it called, the BBK graduation. So I saw the whole thing. And the girl's like, remember the birthday party that we went?
Yeah.
Ava? You said Alexander drowned that day. But he wasn't drowning.
Oh, debatable.
Well, whatever. Okay, so it was actually her. It's like, Miss Missy, we had both teachers from last year. You and Miss Penny. Oh, my baby girl. I love you. But she's annoying. Well, she's adorable. I love her way too freaking much. But I was like a couple hours in her class and was like, oh, she doesn't get out there.
I wish our son was like that.
What? Oh, it's already, what, 3?
I know, but still.
Yeah, but...
I forgot about that.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons decontaminating soon. All clear. Welcome, Sam Quarters.
Everything all right there? Looks good, hello. What? Oh yeah. I got something for you. Hope you find it useful. Well, take care of yourself.
Good work. New order available. Weapons restrictions lifted. Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Weapons restrictions lifted. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. Cargo verified.
The world is on fire, and nobody is looking where it really matters. Every headline is focused on the Middle East. Distraction. The real story is in Japan. In 2024, after 17 years, the planet's biggest eruption ended its era by 3 months. The ancient global economy is spiraling into Japan. You have a people savings account with some big Chapter 1, the demographic black hole. On the surface, Japan looks like it's already living in the future. The place where tech giants dominate the world stage. The world will share the streets with people. AI predicts what's up next. They can take it small and transfer it anywhere else. The best distractions, dim the neon signs, forget the shiny gadgets, focus instead on the finances, the numbers. That's where Japan's deepest, darkest, most disturbing secrets lie. The demographic intensifying. Just 2026, Japan's population officially sits at approximately 122.6 million people. That might sound like a lot, but it's not. To be precise, to around half a million people from its population every 60 years. That's like the city that ends up vanishing every 12 months. To make matters worse, Japan also has the highest proportion of elderly citizens anywhere in the world. In 2014, close to 26% of the population was over 65. By 2022, that increased to more than 29%. The population is getting older, while the birth rate is hitting its lowest level in more than a century. Fewer and fewer people are choosing to start families. Birth rates are falling. Meanwhile, the number of people of working age keeps shrinking. It's reached the point where now there are 2 deaths in Japan for every birth. That is a problem for a lot of reasons, especially for the economy. Every year that these trends continue, Japan's tax base disappears bit by bit. With more retirees, fewer families, and fewer people paying taxes, Japan's financial foundations are starting to crack. The Bank of Japan suffers from money, and they act in a way that is they went below zero. At the same time, trillions of yen were pumped into the system. The Bank of Japan became one of the biggest buyers of its own stock. In fact, it socialized its stock in just to keep the lights up. It was a gamble, one with a massive amount of risk attached. No other central bank, any major developed nation around the world, operated the same way as Japan's. But somehow the gamble paid off, at least for a little while. People in business
Just take my reason that I just got.
back much more than they originally borrowed. Loans became almost irresistible. Families took out, businesses took out, everyone wanted in. Why wouldn't you? It was almost like free money. Wall Street hedge funds and investment firms took advantage too, but on a much bigger scale. They realized they could borrow huge amounts of the Japanese yen at 0% interest and convert all that cash to dollars. They would then use that cash to buy U.S. tech stocks, treasury bonds, or anything else they wanted. It was known as the yen carry trade, and it was like some sort of liquidating infant money bridge, seemingly foolproof way to guarantee returns. For a while, Japan retained its status as an innovative, pioneering, and world-leading nation in more ways than one. But as gamers know all too well, glitches get patched. This is what we guys, the so-called secret is it would be a matter of time until that slipping plastic the handle private investments went no, wages stalled, public debt spiraled, reaching a staggering 260% of the country's gross domestic product, or GDP, by 2022. Soon, the Bank of Japan was running out of options, so they went further, much further. They forced 10-year government bond yields to stay at zero. The country was borrowing at home for nothing, and then exporting those profits around the world, hoping that the inflation would never rise too fast. But in 2026, that gamble is coming to an end. Now Japan's left with an incredibly big bill to settle. First, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video. Search your own name online in Chapter 2, The Widowmaker Detonates. The Bank of Japan had hoped that it would never come to this, and for years it didn't. Crisis after crisis, somehow it happened. But we have been watching closely you just didn't know how long the less restriction. The explosion is here, and the stuff that started it all was rising costs of oil and energy. In 2026, vehicle oil prices have surged by close to 50%, and it's having an impact all over the world. For a resource-poor nation like Japan, rising rates are a death sentence. As prices rise, central banks of countries all over the world have been forced to take action. In the U.S., rates still sit at 3.75%. Some are still today across Europe, but elsewhere the pressure is building. Interest rates pass 4% in Australia, 5% in India, even close to 7% in places like Mexico and Japan. And in the middle of all of this, Japan was trapped. On the one hand, it could raise rates, but basically bankrupt its own government. It carries the highest debt-to-GDP ratio of any nation in the entire developed world. Or it could keep rates at 0%, but sacrifice the value of currency in the process. The Bank of Japan had to take the law. It decided to persist with its 0% rate, and the results have been catastrophic.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Weapons restrictions lifted.
There's a snapper. That's not. Which is no, in buttons. You could be honest with you. Like, what's your favorite colors for it? And it always done.
As effectively guarding the free fall, 5 years ago in 2021, the yen was sitting at less than 110 to the dollar. By late 2022, it was over 200 basis points. In April 2026, it was close to 160 yen. However, it's the biggest hold in decades. In just a few years, the Japanese currency has lost more than 30% of its value. For businesses, families, workers, it was devastating. Before you knew what hit, the salaries and savings were slashed. One day it's been years earning the sudden market that happened years ago.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Weapons detected. All heavily locked until the departure. All
If the worse the situation would become, the yen would continue to spiral. They couldn't allow their own national currency to become worthless. They had to act. So, in a state of panic, policymakers made the decision almost 20 years ago
Deploying autonomous delivery.
interest rates to 0.75%, with plans to increase them all the way up to 1% by 2027. It might not sound like much, and in isolation, it isn't. But compared to the rest of the world, the US, the UK, Australia, rates of 2, 3, or 4% aren't uncommon. A rate of just 1% would actually be something of a pretty occurrence. But for the Japanese financial system, 1% or even 0.75% is a seismic amount. It means that 17 years of free borrowing with debt are coming to an end. And that doesn't just impact Japan and its people, it affects the whole world. For years on Wall Street, there was one investment strategy everyone had heard of. A strategy built on shorting Japanese government bonds, betting that prices would fall and yields would finally rise. A gamble against decades of history. A bet that the Bank of Japan will finally break its own trend after years of stubbornly holding 0% They called it the Widowmaker, and the weapons restrictions lifted. So many people who used this strategy ended up losing enormous amounts of capital because the Bank of Japan never did what they wanted it to do. It continued to maintain near zero or even negative rates year after year. But in 2025 and continuing in 2026, that all changed. The Widowmaker paid off. Trillions of dollars borrowed at nearly 0% in Japan have been flowing around the world, and now they are starting to see the web. The hedge funds and investors who were on the right side of the threat are making a fortune. Meanwhile, banks and firms that borrowed yen at 0% and hold it in reverse concepts of treasuries.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
The bottom is the price. Those speculating in the gamble are the ones putting the bill. This is the final name coming up. The part that the media won't explain. They don't even want you to know about it until it's already too late. And that is both catastrophic and most to rise up. A crash was coming, but one that will shift the economic future, not just Japan, but the United States and dozens of other countries around the world. A shockwave that could be felt for years, even generations, like the repatriation of the yen. The wealthiest and most important Japanese investors, including many of the pension funds and insurance companies, are some of the biggest portfolios of American debt. As a nation, Japan owns a whopping $1.2 trillion in the United States Treasuries. With such an astronomical figure in perspective, $1.2 trillion from the entire U.S. military. For the next 18 months, it's likely to be over $75 billion. An insane amount of money, or to be more exact, in a different area. But here, it makes sense when solutions to program debt. Pension Investment Fund, or GPIF, is the world's biggest pension fund and has historically held on to a massive amount of foreign bonds. U.S. Treasuries made up 51% of its foreign bond portfolio in March 2025. There was a logic to that decision. U.S. bonds paid interest while Japanese bonds paid none. Now the logic is being washed away by the rising tide of Japan's interest rates. As those rates run closer to 1%, and the 10-year Japanese government bond yield surges past 10%, the math has been flipped. Why should a Japanese institution or pension fund like the GPIF continue to run the risk of holding America's debt while they could invest in its own government bonds instead? These companies, these banks, these pension funds no longer have the same incentive to chase returns abroad. Domestic investments finally pay off, and it doesn't take a financial genius to see the obvious. It is time to settle. We found data showing a quiet but growing exodus. Japan is cashing out. It's selling off its assets, dumping U.S. Treasury holdings at a record rate. That doesn't mean the amount of $1.2 trillion will disappear overnight. Just take a look at it. It's spread across the markets more expensive, spending power diminishes and disposable income vanishes. Beginning to scan, starts scanning bridges ID. 12 hours are late receiving distribution center. The University of Cambridge was the reason for the entire global keeping a contaminated system. Well, across America and now those same funds receive their borrowing costs. They're back to doing tours, and they're running out of options. They're forced to sell their most profitable positions. Shares of companies like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, they're all done just to cover spiraling yen debts. This is the invisible crash. It doesn't dominate the headlines. It doesn't involve massive panic at the New York Stock Exchange or vast crowds of people protesting in the streets. It happens quietly in the background, and the world has no idea. Chapter 4, the sovereign debt trap. We've reached a critical point in history, something the global economy has been building toward for nearly 20 years. And at the center of it all is Japan. It's pinned between two outcomes, both dangerous, both unavoidable. It is the ultimate sovereign debt trap. It either keeps interest rates low and protects its debt, but watches its currency collapse and its country starve, or it raises rates and temporarily saves its economy, but it sets its own national debt on fire, as well as detonating the entire global bond market. There is no out, no alternative option, no last-ditch magical solution. The fuse was lit a long time ago, and now it's reached the power gate. The yen is just the first domino to fall, but it won't be the last. The dollar is next, and when that begins, everything changes, which leads to a question the world has quietly been avoiding. What if the U.S. economy crashes?
The new Ashley Lux collection is here. And yes, it's worth the hype. With curvy wood designs finished in rich espresso, ultra plush boucle upholstery, and hammered hardware that brings a modern edge. Shop the new arrivals by Ashley Lux. Available now.
Essentially everything out there you can just go and play. All the skylocks, they're explorable, and they absolutely are not. If you've played even a couple of minutes of Destiny, you know that these are very open maps, yes, but very structured ones with walled off areas and areas you can't go. It is not an endlessly explorable open world kind of map. Look, the original Destiny had a very messy development from what we know. Maybe there was some miscommunication there, but still, you can't go out there and say, you can go explore over there, you can do everything, you can go over that mountain, when in reality, you can't. This ain't a Bethesda. To be more specific, too, this was developer commentary, an official video put out after the E3 reveal trailer. So it's the developers reacting to the original E3 gameplay reveal trailer. Don't rush without the own thing. And yeah, come on, if you ran out there, it's all playable terrain. It is absolutely not. There are limits to this game, like any other game, and you just can't jump the gun with this stuff, because players pay attention, that's for sure. Next at number 9, the whole Batman Arkham Knight debacle. And this is one of those, I think, more intentional deceptions that were meant to throw people off before launch. They did the same thing with Batman Arkham Origins, if you remember. They were saying that Black Mask would be the primary antagonist of that game, but then, of course, it ended up just being the Joker again. But to be clear, like, what went down here was that Arkham Knight, the game, was heavily teased, featuring this new bad guy, the Arkham Knight, essentially militaristic, high-tech mercenary version of Batman. This mysterious, brutal commando that could go toe-to-toe with Batman, that had all this cool tech, but his identity was unknown because it was, concealed behind a mask, leading to a ton of fan theories, deep dives, long YouTube videos. I remember watching the Caboose videos on this. Everybody was like, who is Arkham Knight? Everybody had a theory, but the developers, Rocksteady, insisted that he is an original character. Now, to be clear, it's revealed Arkham Knight is not an original character, man. His true identity is Jason Todd. You're not what he made you. Something to me! You did this to me. I'm sorry. Obviously, if you know anything about Batman, you know that is the second Batman. That is the one that was killed by the Joker in Death of the Family from 1988, the comic written by Jim Starlin. It was a legendary thing, and essentially they just brought that over here, but they said, what if he came back to life, which does happen in the comics, but this time he came back as a character you didn't recognize. So technically, yes, okay, Arkham Knight himself is an original character, but the guy under the mask is somebody that we all know. It's just freaking Jason Todd. It's former Robin. What makes it even crazier is that Jason Todd already had an alter ego. He became Red Hood, something that was very popular and fans were familiar with that at the time. And they essentially just kind of did that here. And it felt weird and kind of disappointing. Story-wise, in terms of like dialogue and execution and direction, they still did a good job with it, but for the people speculating and really excited to see what the hell the actual deal was with the Arkham Knight, this was a bummer. Next at number 8, when developers spoke about aliens and colonial marines, they really hyped up the incoming reveal version, where they said, that the Wii U version was going to be the best looking version of the game. Yes, better than the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. And it was going to have that cool motion tracker technology. We were going to be able to use the tools we see in the Alien films with the power of the Wii U gimmicks and stuff. In an interview with Eurogamer, the developer said that the Aliens Colonial Marines Wii U version will be better because of, quote, more modern tech. And he said, and I quote, "You'll have to wait and see. Just trust me on that." Well, we trusted him, and the Wii U version was never really to be seen again, fizzled out, and never released. I'm sure it's all centered around the disastrous launch of Aliens Colonial Marines and how that game was absolutely not as advertised. That's a whole other lie we could go into, but the fact that the Wii U version existed and it was going to come out and it was going to be awesome, I mean, come on, we were way off with this one, guys. Next at number 7, EA's newest Skate game, the long-awaited return of Skate. Essentially, it was a live service, ongoing, free-to-play game, and leading up to it, the developers were pretty open. They talked a lot about the game, and one of the big things they promised in all caps was no map areas behind paywalls. That lasted until, I kid you not, the very first new map area was added. Yes, the first new area they introduced into the game is Lobby Blank Premium Pass. It's not even really a new area, it's actually just the tutorial Isle of Grom. And that was randomly removed from the game, and now they're putting it back in, and they want people to pay for the privilege of going back to it. That is just crazy. Look, people are already on their toes. People are already skeptical of live service games, of free-to-play games. They are always constantly asking, what's the catch? When you tell them there is no catch, and then there turns out to be a catch, that's going to completely backfire. Next at number 6, you guys remember Hi-Fi Rush, right? The game was shadow dropped by Xbox January 25th, 2023. It's a Tango Gameworks game, the people behind Ghostwire Tokyo, Evil Bin, stuff like that. But this was a very different game, very different flavor, just a fun action combat beat-em-up adventure with some rhythm-like elements. Critics really loved it. It got great reviews. It seems like fans also really enjoyed it. People just really jumped on it because it was a unique game with cool art style, fun gameplay. And what's great is that Xbox, who published it again, were really happy with it. With members of Xbox leadership taking to Twitter saying, and I quote, "Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release." That statement was made April 21st, 2023. Roughly 1 year later, Tango Gameworks was shut down. May 7th, 2024 marked the studio closing its doors. So what happened, Xbox? Thankfully, Tango Gameworks has seemingly found a new life, a new company that's able to kind of buy them up, but still, that studio was turning out some great games. Xbox even said they were happy with it, and then, of course, just came that massive wave of layoffs and shutdowns. We've seen quite a bit in the last couple of years, and it's kind of easy to forget just how many studios have shut down and people have been laid off, but this happened in one fell swoop where Microsoft closed 2 smaller studios they owned, as well as Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks. It was a brutal time, and again, it just seems even crazier when just a year before they said, we couldn't be happier with Tango Gameworks. Yeah, right. Things change, but come on, man. Next at number 5, SimCity, one of my favorite franchises from the early days. Building cities is addictive. It's incredibly fun. The series really blossomed for many years until modern EA got its hands on it and released SimCity, just titled SimCity, in 2013. SimCity 2013 was really a disaster. If you were online at the time or paying attention to the world of gaming and gaming news, it was a big debacle, and ultimately it was a failure. You don't hear about this one anymore because it pretty much disappeared. Now, the whole thing here with this new SimCity, it was the early days of all these online stuff like that, and SimCity, they said, would require an online connection. Because the game was so advanced, it needed to be online all the time. Then, the developer of Maxis, a source, later said that SimCity doesn't require server-side computing at all, and that it could be played offline. So this was a blatant lie on Maxis' part. The game, even at launch, could be played offline for up to 20 minutes. The game simply forced players to be online after. Why? Because it was the early days of that always online, always connected, always gathering your data, always trying to get you to buy something. There's a lot more to SimCity where it like was a complete disaster, even just like the design of it itself. But that was one of the big things. The always online connection, which now people just kind of scoff at with certain games. With SimCity 2013, it was a big deal. Next at number 4, here's a claim that definitely feels like a lie. It's Microsoft stating that cloud made Xbox One 4 times more powerful. This was when cloud and investing in cloud compute technologies was all the rage, so of course Microsoft would hype it up, and they did it by saying that it would completely supercharge and beef up Xbox One. Claims like 3 times the compute power in the cloud available to every Xbox console. Really wild idea. Very ambitious stuff that you could potentially see working out. But it was a lie because we haven't seen any of that. None of that cloud compute stuff has really translated to video games. You could argue that it did in Crackdown 3's multiplayer mode. That Wrecking Crew mode, it has cloud-based restrictions for its destruction models, so buildings could collapse more realistically thanks to that essential map being processed in the cloud. But that was pretty much it, and even that was on Xbox One. We're now a generation past that, and we're there's certain instances and uses of this games and multiplayer games for sure, but nowhere near what they were suggesting with cloud compute translating to direct processing or graphical visual or game power in the regular old games. Maybe one day in the future it would become more of a thing. Maybe they were just a little too ahead of themselves. I don't know, but for now, this is just not really the kind of thing.
Hey Vinny, is that your lucky song? That's too bad. Because it's Christmas too. And theirs.
Now down at number 3, here's something that may have been a lie or a goof or a mix-up or something, but essentially the developers behind Mass Effect 3, just a few months before the release of the game, said, and I quote, "It's not even in any way like the traditional game endings, where you can say how many endings there are, or whether you got ending A, B, or C. This quote was 2 months before Mass Effect 3 launches, and here we have the game that launches, and it literally ends with 3 different choices, 3 endings that come out of nowhere. Again, endings A, B, or C, like said in the quote. And to be completely fair and charitable, like looking at the full quote on screen here, I still don't get like the meaning behind what they were trying to say. I think it was more about dealing with the lore and dealing with everybody's different decisions made throughout the game, because these games have like multiple choice and stuff like that. Still, saying that it's not like a typical game where you can get ending A, B, or C, and then putting out a game where you can get ending A, B, or C is pretty fun. I don't think it's really that big of a deal or too misleading. I really think this was like an oof or a slip up, but it still kind of counts. Now at number 2, let's talk about No Man's Sky. At launch, leading up to launch, there were a lot of promises. This is specifically about direct lies, not just misleading trailers. There were many claims made that the game would have ringed planets, that other people could see in-game, that there would be asteroids to mine, that every solar system is fully destructible, in quotes. If a planet is too far or too close to the sun and there's no light there, all this stuff, the list goes on and on. The developers, specifically the lead developer, did a lot of press and said a lot of cool, ambitious things about this game. I think maybe they were just too trapped in their own hype. They wanted to get people excited about this game, but ultimately when No Man's Sky launched, it had promise, but it was pretty bare bones. There wasn't really too much to it, and it didn't feel like this infinite, amazing, incredible thing that it was suggested to be. To be fair, now in 2026, the game has improved massively. They didn't take the money and run, they took the money and made the game essentially what they were kind of saying it would be. You know, what they sold us on. They said we were going to be able to do all those things, and it turns out we could. It would just be years and years later until they implement that stuff. And they've done a lot of that entirely through free updates. Look, it doesn't totally negate all of those early lies, but it does explain some of it. Still, we'd like to see this not happen again, and transparency in the world of video games is the most important thing. Now down at number 1, Peter Molyneux. who was infamous for his flights of fancy during interviews, has said a lot in the past. Of course, a lot of people chalk it up to the original Fable games. When he was doing press for the original Fables, he would say crazy, awesome sounding things about the games that never came to fruition. Like, Fable being so in-depth, so in-depth, and that you'd be able to plant a seed, and then as your character grows and progresses through the game, the tree will also grow over time. A lot of stuff like that just didn't end up moving the game. He was notorious for the second thing for years. Some of it can be, excused about just being excited about the potential of projects, but here in this one, it's a blatant lie. Peter Molyneux's new company, 22 Cans, a few years back, put out this thing called Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube. It was a game on mobile that involved a lot of players just kind of tapping away at a cube. Everyone collectively, all throughout the world, just slowly chipping away at this little cube made of blocks. According to Molyneux, quote, the idea was that whoever chipped away the final block would reveal what was at the center of the cube and win a life-changing prize. Incredible. It's almost like the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory thing, getting the golden ticket, right? Well, not exactly. Someone was ultimately chosen, or someone ultimately won out. They were told that they were going to, receive a share of future revenues of the game, as well as being, quote, immortalized in their projects, in their games, as this supreme god being. But it seems like, looking back at everything, none of this really came to fruition. The winner, Brian Henderson, was pretty upfront in interviews and stuff like that. Apparently, contact dropped off. It didn't really seem like he got any monetary award or a life-changing prize. So that was completely a lie, just to sell the game that had people poking away at a little cube. A really cool, novel idea, but when there's nothing to actually back it up, like a, quote, life-changing prize, then what was the point of any of it? I don't know. But those are some examples of very interesting, strange, weird, and sometimes outright blatant lies told by game creators. Some of these are pretty serious, and some are kind of silly, so let us know in the comments what you think. If you like this video and you like talking games with us every single day, clicking the like button's all you gotta do. It really helps us out. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hit that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But either way, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sometimes life can be a little messy. But with next-gen Nubella Performance Fabric at Ashley, we've got your whole home covered. So you can get back to what you love, messes and all.
This is the foam grip that doesn't suffer. No other foam grip can do this, this, and this. It's actually thinner than your camera box.
Gaming is an industry built on ideas, engines, licenses, and opportunities that are teed up for greatness. But they aren't all soaring eagles or amazing falcons. Some of them are lame ducks that fifth it harder than Connect. I don't know whether you want to talk about which, you could say Connect as product.
Open up the compass mode and focus on your...
Whiffed hard. And that's kind of what we want to talk about. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 of the most wasted things in gaming history. Starting off at number 10, it's Will Smith's video game. An unfortunate public outburst may have hurt Will Smith's star power somewhat, but he's still one of the biggest celebrities on the planet. The man's a bona fide movie star, so when it came out that he was going to star in a video game, that should have been a big deal. It's like hearing that Brad Pitt or Tom Hanks are going to headline a video game. There are certain people that are just too big even for video games, and Will Smith is, he's one of them. I could see a video game that is made based off of a license for a Will Smith movie, but not like a Will Smith video game that was written for him to star in. So when it was initially revealed that the Fresh Prince was going to star in a zombie-themed survival game, people stood up and took notice. Was this going to be gaming's I Am Legend? The budget was certainly big enough. It was an estimated $140 million, and was considered a key game for publisher Tencent. I wouldn't blame you if you've never heard of this, though, because outside of the rare few who saw the game starred Will Smith somehow, it mostly went unnoticed by everyone. The game itself, which is an utterly generic survival RPG, primarily meant for mobile devices, barely even featured Will Smith. That was more of a promotional deal than anything else. The concept of a Will Smith
a video game, it would be great. Like, honestly, I would love to see the man star in a game that people actually care about, but Undawn is not that game. It is just some forgettable crap. I guess attaching Will Smith to a game worked at least a little bit. Like, we wouldn't be talking about it otherwise, but, I mean, I'm not playing it, I'm talking about it. And number 9 is EA's 10 years with the Star Wars license. Back in 2013, EA managed to sign a 10-year agreement with Disney for exclusive rights to the Star Wars license. This was back when hype around Star Wars was at its highest point. Star Wars was coming back for an all-new sequel trilogy starting in 2015. It was going to be a license to print money in a way the MCU only dreamed of, but how Disney eventually handled Star Wars, I mean, might be better than how EA did. Like, that's the scary element here. I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying Disney kind of botched it. Like, if they announced a Star Wars project, I don't give a shit. And it's not like EA made terrible games. Like, Battlefront 1 and 2 are good games. The second one drew all kinds of fire for the way it implemented loot boxes, but they fixed that, and then they canceled a shitload of games. The only games they managed to make after that were Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, and I mean, those are good games. But they were also kind of made in spite of EA, not really because of them. A lot of that was that Respawn had the cash with EA management after the success of Apex Legends, that they were given the chance to make a Star Wars game, and they were only allowed to make a sequel because it ended up to be a big success. Every other Star Wars game EA put into production ended up on the cutting room eventually, and it did not matter how good it looked. A lot of them were killed mid-development, particularly 1313, where you were going to play as Boba Fett. It got scrapped in 2014, and man, that game looked good. Visceral Games were working on an Uncharted-style adventure game codenamed Ragtag. That got canceled. EA Vancouver, they were doing an open-world Star Wars called Project Orca. That got shit-canned. And a Battlefront spin-off game codenamed Viking was shut down before it could get off the ground. EA spent millions getting exclusive rights to Star Wars. Once they had it, they just seemingly refused to do anything with it. And all these developers were just chomping at the bit to make something, and EA just refused. I mean, we got a few good games out of the deal. Again, I think that the 2 Star Wars Battlefront games are actually underrated. They got a lot of flack that once they fixed the second one, the games are well above, as far as I'm concerned. And the 2 Star Wars Jedi games are really top-notch games. But man, there could have been so much more. One thing you won't have to worry about there not being more of is Game Ranks videos. We are going to continue making them every single day, but we also have to ask for your help, because most people watching them are not subscribed. If you were subscribed, it would help us out quite a bit. It gives us more resources to work on what we do. I know it's annoying, but I gotta ask, please become a subscriber. It helps us out a lot, so we thank you, Tom, and we hope it helps you out. And number 8 is PS2 exclusives and the PSVR 2. It's about a collection trade. Now, this VR headset may have been misguided as it's banned for a little bit. This video was the actual product was good. In fact, the original PSVR was good. But at launch, the sequel was maybe the most accessible and easy to use VR device. There was potential for bringing a new audience in with this thing, but after relatively soft sales on its first week, the Sony basically gave it up. It was already a device that now a lot of games supporting it, and one of the big flaws was that the sequel wasn't compatible with the original, so the lack of first-party support was more obvious. Sony claimed that over 100 titles were in development for it, but as most of those games have not seen the light of day. Production of PSVR games has seemingly just stopped. They're not even producing more headsets because there's a backlog of it. In every way, it seems like the $550 VR headset is pretty much dead. It's barely over 2 years old, but Sony's just given up on it. It didn't sell as well as Sony had hoped. I get that, but the speed at which they completely dumped it is incredible. Sony is making it look like Virtual Boy, even though Virtual Boy failed for reasons beyond its first week. The PSVR is actually a really good product, and the Virtual Boy was the Virtual Boy, but the lack of support in general, his interest with VR in general, really hurted sales. On top of being an expensive thing, they need to get on top of getting another expensive thing with PS5. It's just not worth it for most people. The PS5 is already short on games that the PlayStation fans don't play, but the PSVR 2 has barely anything on it. It just came out at a bad time. It's not a bad device, but VR is just kind of like, no one cares. And because of that, rather than get behind the product and make it worthwhile, well, they're just like, all right, fuck it. See, that's really the problem with VR. It's not so much that people are completely averse to playing something on the card. It's that no one's really made it worth it. Yeah. If Sony had stepped up and made this thing just full of incredibly killer games, as well as backwards compatible with the previous generation of games, they probably wouldn't have brought this thing to life to work. I said it in another video, though. We're moving into a time in which no one cares about creating a product that will life and sell them successful. People care about creating properties that they can essentially make money off of passively. I think that's what all of our main big developers, other than are trying to figure out how to do. How do they do this stuff where they don't really have to actively do it? That's why they don't bother getting behind products. And I hate it. I'll say it every single time I mention any of this. I just hate it. Number 7 is the Fox engine. Konami really started working on the Fox engine back in 2008. Kojima's goal was nothing less than to make the best engine in the world. It was going to power Konami's next generation games. Basically, it was their aim to it was going to be cutting edge, but capable of scaling easily to the 7th and 8th generation. See, that's years. There's obviously something they wanted to accomplish. There was a plan anyway. Just to be clear, the Fox engine is used in Metal Gear Solid 5 was very impressive. They were somehow able to get that game working pretty seamlessly on PlayStation 3 and 4. The environments were huge, they were very detailed, and everything ran really smooth. Unfortunately, Metal Gear Solid 5 was a complicated product, in part because they spent so long developing the engine instead of just making the game, but because of the way its development struggles at getting the best engine in the world working was what ultimately created an irreconcilable rift between Kojima. All the evidence points there. Nobody involved that actually said anything. With Kojima out, and most of the team that actually created and understood the Fox engine needed with him to go the engine they spent so long used. They used it for a few soccer, like some football games. Metal Gear survived with it, but not a good one. That's it. It got used for almost nothing. Which is wild. It's a good engine. It's stopped using it. The difference was very noticeable. New games were definitely worse. It's hard to say whether the John game of the trade intense, or they're already planning on the fact that they can post the game. It's kind of a chicken and egg scenario. I personally think that they were on their way out for a lot of reasons other than the engine. I think it had a lot to do with their CEO being a big global games guy or something like that. But either way, it's hard not to look at how incredible the Fox engine was for the time. Even now, could have been with Silent Hill and Fox Metal, all would have just been amazing. At number 6 is Geomod 2.0. Volition's lasting legacy is probably the Saints Row games, but Red Faction was where the studio really innovated. The destruction technology they created for Red Faction was, still is, there are very few things besides the how do you want blowing up games? There's something more modern that's untracked. No, the game is quite captured. Not even its own sequel. Whereas, in one of those badly decisions by Volition, for some reason decided to follow up. The open world Red Faction Guerrilla with a linear corridor shooter with some level of destruction, yes, But what made the previous game so good was how it was this free-form Martian colony that you could pretty much take whatever approach you wanted and love it. The second, I mean, it's not exactly terrible, but it's really forgettable because it doesn't have any of the stuff that makes it work. It even has destruction. It's just not Red Faction Guerrilla 2. The Red Faction after Guerrilla should have been bigger and more over the top with upgrade destruction and more powerful tools. That should have been the game, period. But instead, they made the sequel smaller and worse in every way, and that was it for Geomod. The Saints Row games, of course, never used them. Nobody else even attempted to make anything like them. In all of that effort, making this incredibly satisfyingly destroy stuff in an action game is just abandoned. There was and still is so much unrealized potential there. It's crazy. And something which is crazy, like the Nemesis system, which is also severely underutilized. There's no stupid patent saying nobody else can do anything like that. The only thing stopping someone from making their own Geomod 3.0 is that it's probably difficult. But that's never stopped me. Like, somebody needs to bring back Red Faction, and if that's not in the cards, please somebody bring back something like Geomod 3.0. It was a total waste of that system to not continue making the game today. And number 5 is Fallout Los Angeles. It's wild we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of Fallout 4, and there has not been another game announced other than Fallout 76, which isn't in a bad place anymore, but it's not Fallout 5. With Bethesda hard at work at Elder Scrolls 6, there's nothing going on with Fallout. Maybe they are working on something in secret, but if they are, Obsidian, the guys who made what is probably the most widely respected modern Fallout, they're not the ones helping with it. For whatever reason, Obsidian's business with Bethesda is just over. They've tried to pitch new games to Bethesda in the past, including Fallout New Vegas 2, or something like Fallout Los Angeles that takes place in the Boneyard, which is the in-universe game of the LA. But they got it burned down. Take the Fallout franchise away from Obsidian was a bad idea back then, and now it's looking like Matt Howard took a hit to the head. What are they even thinking of this point? Like, there's a popular, successful, critically acclaimed Fallout TV show airing right now, which mostly takes place around LA in the first season. And in the second season, it's going to the New Vegas area, going all in on New Vegas nostalgia. And it's not the Bethesda games the TV show's focusing on and building on, but it's Obsidian's New Vegas. That's the game that is most associated with the Fallout franchise. And yet, for some reason, Bethesda doesn't want to touch it. Like, did somebody at Obsidian pants Todd? Like, was Todd giving a presentation and somebody came up behind him and pants them? It's just such a ridiculously huge for so many reasons. They're just walking away from easy money at this point. Especially because a new Fallout is pretty much zero chance of coming out while the show is running, unless the show manages to go for like 8 seasons or maybe Bethesda slaps together a New Vegas remaster or take advantage of their renewed interest in some other way. I don't know. Both Obsidian and Bethesda, they're owned by Microsoft now. There's nothing stopping them from collaborating again, other than it just isn't happening. And number 4 is commissioning a Deus Ex remaster and giving it to Asper. Maybe I'm jumping the gun on this, but have you seen the announcement trailer? It's something. The original game is an all-time classic. It's near the top of a lot of lists of the best games of all time. It's also a game that really does need some kind of remaster or remake, because it is a classic, but the original game, A, doesn't run good, and B, could benefit from a lot from some quality of life updates. But hey, even just the fact that it crashes sometimes, in fact a lot, is just something you can't do anything about if you're playing the original on it. Just for ease of access, having it fixed up for would be great. It does deserve a full, big budget, lavish remake. It's, I mean, much in time, but it's not what we're getting. But a clean, bare bones port would be good enough. So what the hell is this? It's odd. It's putting the entire game in the mid-2000s. Updated the graphics to make them look like they're from an early Xbox 360 shooter or like something with Unreal Engine 2 as the base. But also a little bit uglier. Like, it looks bizarre. I don't know if I want to say I think it looks dreadful because, I mean, in some respects, I prefer looking at this to like really, really outdated bad graphics that expose I don't remember it the way I thought, but also I don't think I like it. I mean, The character models are bizarre. The lighting is too dark, too blown out in certain places. The weapon models look pretty cheap. I mean, it looks like a fan mod. Like there are fan mods that actually do better than this. And the problem here, it's Asper. Their remake game has been pretty spotty. What they did with the Tomb Raider games, I actually wondered if it was good. But then I'm trying to get too ambitious. It seems like things don't fit. But then you also have things like Battlefront remakes, which were not good. They were bad. They were very bad. With Deus Ex, they're trying something here, but it's not working. I don't know. Maybe the backlash will get them to redo stuff like this. A game with the pedigree of Deus Ex deserves better than this. And number 3 is Xbox's Legacy Studios. What did 343 Industries, aka
When Legend is integrated into the Chiron network, it's also brought closer to the beach in a manner of speaking. There's a significant impact on Chiron levels, and measuring that impact is one of the Cupid's primary functions. The more we know, the more accurately we can determine where to expect timefall and when. Without the Chiron network, we'd be left guessing. Oh, and thanks to your latest accomplishment, you can now view the weather forecast via your compass. Check your map. You'll see. Ought to come in handy when you're planning routes. I'll keep an eye on the Chiron density from right here in my lab. It's not far from South Dawg City. Keep processing those orders and you'll put that region on the grid soon enough. Good luck, Sam.
Good work, Sam. That's one more site on the grid. Keep it up and we'll be finished before you know it. The weather station's forecast should be visible to everyone on the Chiron network now, yourself included. You can access them via your cufflinks. Could be useful in plotting your routes. Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further information.
Add timefall shelter option to your PCC. They're perfect for keeping you and your cargo dry until the weather improves.
Congratulations, Sam. Your PCC's leveled up, so to speak. It now has the capacity to produce more complex structures. I'll let Mama fill you in on the details.
It's a fairly large structure, so it'll take a lot of time and materials to build. But once complete, it's pretty much identical to a private room. Give it a shot. A floating carrier is a kind of trapper. Chiron crystals keep it suspended in midair, allowing it to move unimpeded over rough terrain. You can load one up with cargo and tow it to your destination with minimal effort. If one's not enough for your needs, you can hook it up to another, and take two. Just keep in mind that carriers require a steady supply of Chiron crystals to operate. Make sure you have enough to get where you need to go.
work for you. Find a way to build inside. Use your map compass if you don't know the real way. I'll come additional instructions once you get close. Weather forecasts can now be viewed by cufflinks. Should come in handy when you're on the road.
Studios, the Coalition, and the now defunct The Initiative had in common? Well, they were all game studios formed for the purpose of working on a single franchise by Xbox, and they've all failed to one degree or another. The Coalition is probably the most stable of these studios because they were already a studio before getting assigned years after Epic moved on from the series. 343 has been a non-stop rolling disaster since its form. It's a miracle anything even gets made by them. The games coming from these studios aren't even that bad, but compared to the original Halo 2 games, they aren't quite there. The Initiative didn't even get the chance to get that far. They were on Perfect Dark 3, and that got canceled and they got shut down. They're gone, and the future of the other two is it's up in the air. Who really knows the future of Halo?
Safe house.
But either way, Microsoft's stewardship of these franchises has been a big disappointment. I'm not sure if the problem lies with the developers, who seem to be in constant turmoil, just trying to run their stupid moves, or if Microsoft is to blame for letting massive companies like Halo and series wither on fine. I'm inclined to think it's probably both. Like, there's plenty of blame to go around. Like, these franchises and these studios had real potential to step out of the shadows, prove themselves, and do an exciting game to really push the envelope of what a Halo game for years before game would be. But instead, they played it out safe for taking the games in odd directions that the fans didn't want them to go in. I know it's a tough balancing act, and I don't begrudge them for their growing pains, but they never managed to grow. They just stuck in a constant state of anarchy that's hurting Halo. And, you know, I don't want to say Gears is in bad shape, because it's really not. But it took a few games and some time to get to the point where it's like, I think this Gears prequel is going to be pretty damn good. I'm happy these studios exist to keep the series alive in some way. But at this point, it feels like Microsoft should be better at managing their game studios. They suck at it so bad.
Autodesk Flow Studio for AI-powered motion capture, camera tracking, and animation. Everything is your imagination. Autodesk Flow Studio. Start.
legacies.
Thank you, Sam. This safe house will be a building to countless others in the long run. I'm not just talking about the reporters who use it as a stopping point away from the weather station, but the people they help and the people they help. We're all connected to someone else, Sam. But you'll have the honor of being the first person to rest it. Your work is greatly appreciated.
And number two, not entirely dissimilar, but great studios getting stuck in the Call of Duty lanes. It was never my intention to pick on Microsoft, because PlayStation made their fair share of mistakes, for sure. But Microsoft now owns basically half the gaming industry. It's kind of inevitable this is where things are going to go. Follow the money. At least for this, you can't blame Microsoft, because there's more no loss in fact. If you don't know, Activision has two main studios that make Call of Duty games. Infinity Ward, the original, Treyarch, and also Sledgehammer. But those are the big three. Under them are a ton of support studios that do the grunt work of making sure Call of Duty comes out every year, no matter what. In an industry where game sequels take years and years, Activision has created a well-oiled machine that pumps out a new Call of Duty like clockwork, and that requires a lot of hands. To keep up the frankly insane pace of releases going, they slowly but surely took every single one of the independent developers working with Activision, some of them with long and storied histories, and put them on Call of Duty. They were no longer going to make their own original games. It was all Call of Duty all the time. Frankly, that sucks. And that is coming from somebody who generally likes Call of Duty. Like, certainly, I have my fair share of criticisms for it, but a good Call of Duty campaign is a good Call of Duty campaign, my friend. There are, and unfortunately were, also some great developers at Activision. Beanox made Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. High Moon Studios did those great Transformers games. Raven Software needs no introduction. They're one of the all-time great FPS creators that made Heretic.
Culture, I'm married to a Dominican woman.
Into the underrated and now they can work on Call of Duty. The original Tony Hawk's.
It is a brand new Wednesday, my dudes.
Brandon was secretly.
That's the whole problem. I wish these guys could go back and do their own original games or follow-ups to their original games or anything instead of just slaving away at making Call of Duty possible. Yes, Call of Duty is probably the most popular video game franchise of all time. I don't want to look it up, but I feel that it's probably not correct.
Representative Persons Mulligan has waived the question now recurs on final passage of HB 1D. The clerk will allow the
Number one,
presented
and
all members voted.
for a crazy
All
amount of money.
members voted. The clerk will
Everything will happen. Then in 2001, acquired the Pokemon Girls that has been in contract for $500 million. It was promised of up to $250,000 depending on how they spent that much on the studio. And the teams that are the successes. There is no way they were close to that much. It doesn't matter how successful Sonata was. There's potentially $750 million on the line, and Crafton clearly overpromised to a ridiculous degree. It's also possible Unknown Worlds wasn't taking their commitment seriously, and something led to a breaking point. Crafton fired the three developers of Sonata 2 and sued them for breach. They laid out a case that the Sonata devs were essentially not doing their job. They were too distracted by personal projects. They also claimed the developers were planning on releasing the game without Crafton support, and that they downloaded company documents they're not supposed to have access to before leaving. You might be tempted to side with Crafton over here and all that, but their legal filings have made them look pretty sketchy. The whole thing is a big mess. Probably should have been there at this point. Crafton shouldn't have promised anything. You basically set them up for half the figure out some way for Subnautica not to do well, so they didn't have to pay it out. Oh no, World probably should have just remained independent too, but they wanted to keep making games the way they've been making them before without interference or oversight. All that money thrown around for a game that at this point could possibly not even come out. That's the biggest waste of all, because we might never get this game, and that sucks more than anything else. And at least Unknown Worlds is still around and working on it, but honestly, it's hard to know what it will look like when it comes out itself. I mean, the original guys got replaced by the guy behind the Callisto Protocol, so that could very much not be good. What do you think, though? That's everything we got for today, so leave us a comment and let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We have brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so quick subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, Falcon Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on Game Mates.
Comment section, and then the yellow ones are dead the second I saw them. They're so delicious and warm. They elevate a space instantly.
Well.
The path to a college degree is more affordable than you think. With Sophia Learning, you can take real college-level courses that are designed to transfer fully online for just $99 a month. Start your free trial, no credit card required. Sophia Learning, built for you.
That container is filled with pressurized ball. If it breaks, the gas will begin to leak
So
out.
it comes out March
Which is
27th,
bad
so we're not messing with you, right? Manage to
Therefore,
get
it's
a few
imperative
cans,
you
not
keep
even
this
one
car
can.
in good
But the
condition.
sequel,
Activate the repair spray just to be sure.
especially with
In case you're
publishers,
wondering,
want to grow the
log
audience
5
by
to the work of our R&D division.
Everybody wants the next
Delivering safely, and you might end up contributing to the
Some
creation
games
of
do it
something
by
equivalent
iterating
for
the formula,
yourself.
the normal way, and some games just disregard their original fans and use their name to chase a totally different audience.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Those are the games looking at today, folks. It's talking today on Game Rates 10 games that tried to replace their fans. Starting at number 10 is the Devil May Cry 2013 reboot DMC. This is a perfect example of this trend. In 2013, the Japanese games industry was in a weird place. They were increasingly relying on getting Western game studios to reimagine their games in an attempt to make them more appealing to the global audience. Those attempts mostly failed, by the way. Capcom was really going in on it and launched Planet 3, Resident Evil, Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City, I guess. But most infamously, DMC, the Devil May Cry reboot game. Most obviously was just trying to bring in new fans from the use this game. We know it because we have that infamous GDC 2013 presentation where it tells us exactly what restrictions developers have been during the old Devil May Cry. The entire first page is such a hilarious and misguided caption of that era, comparing the old games to the series of Batman and Robin, Brokeback Mountain, while saying, New Dante would be cool, western, random, stylish, and they're all like brutally lame attempts to do and make fun of the old games. Yeah, they're goofy as hell. But what are they doing? Why so it's not like I'm expecting tediously recommended resource material or anything like that in marketing materials now, but this is too far in the other direction. It's straight up just insulting the new old games for no reason. These good old Devil May Cry games are intensely challenging, score-focused action games with a very high skill ceiling, and the reboot was a jump down face experience. Let's see. It was really made to read more casual audience concerned about like Japanese simply originally. But they managed to put in a whole bunch of different deeply off-play elements for the reboot, so it kind of, I don't know how to describe it. They went totally in it, I guess. And that isn't to say, like, it was even that bad of a game. I actually liked a lot about it, and if they called it something else, it probably would have a small world. It's called EMC-W5, and for some reason, one of the original games were flat out insulting. In this desperate attempt at headline grabbing, I guess, I don't really know why they did that. It did not work. The game underperformed, they switched back to the original continuity with Devil May Cry 5 and the upcoming animated series, also based on the original games, so I think fans won. And number 9 is Redfall. With this game, it was picked up the studio version series were being replaced, and results were not good. Up until Redfall was announced, Arcane was well known for being the immersive sim guys, making it less single-player experiences didn't make all that much money, but they were highly respected. Then they decided to make a live service game. Redfall started playing gradually down and so look at the sound. They were encouraged to give up to make live service games and like the use of customers. They didn't care that Arcane was known for making a single-player game that multiplayer experience. Also, nobody wanted to make it, and now he's explained it inside of like but 70% of the staff made praise for that. Arcane really developed the Redfall, not one fired, they laughed. Redfall, they didn't want to make a lot of it. It's certainly not like it was so totally, people are scared for other that's how little enthusiasm. Redfall. I don't want to see what you guys can do. Either willingly or not. That really got totally shut down. It's also and number 8 is Battlefield 2042. You know what game Battlefield fans like? Battlefield. But true. So what did DICE decide to do that to make the Battlefield game up with a game? Apex Legends of Cost. So it's good things, right? It takes out the stuff that makes good idea. People like distinct characters in games like Overwatch, Apex, so let's throw them in here. Put in a bunch of power and feel a lot of places. Take all 6 maps, a bunch of short things, just make really big and generic maps. Ice skating. That's what people want, right? Honestly, guys trying to bring in more casual. You know, it might work. The actual game was 2032 was like ridiculous. Look at years. And the failure of Battlefield 2042. Not another high-profile game. After trying to put a predictable Battlefield hard because you're thinking clear as time for someone who's going to listen to the like when you're watching some YouTube video where they're constantly asking, what should we do? Or what do you want us to do? It's obvious they don't know. They have no interest in them. I mean, it could be hard to use DICE to make succeed like they do. Also, there's battle that you can have. Do that. And number, your film could be this, and this, or this. This is definitely one. It's actually thinner than your film. Number 7 is Hyper Light Breaker. When game series can go out of their way to abandon the original fans, it's not always some dialogue moved by greedy publishing workers that makes it otherwise. Sometimes developers let the game take the series from one thing to the sequel that's completely different. Hyper Light Drifter was one of those breaks, breaking early starters that you know. right? The game had incredible pixel art, it was fine. It was a one-of-a-kind game. It was clearly there was love and passion about that production Many years later, they put out a follow-up, Hyperlight Breaker. You would see, you would guess the same but more, right? But no, it's a very, very different game. Instead of being a sequel to the first game, it's more like Risk of Rain 2. It's a roguelike, third-person co-op with two dragons. Basically, the polar opposite of the original game. Most racing, the handmade level structure is gone. The actual the artwork is gone. The serious single-player story is gone. It left a lot of fans in the original pretty unhappy with it. Now, I want to be clear. I don't think I actually agree. And a sequel going in a totally new direction isn't always a good thing. Abandonment of games. There are, of course, sequels that take a step direction. Bringing their old fans along with right. Even when that happens, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So that's going to be so new. It's fun. You look at Yakuza. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But also crazy. Maybe it's not perfect. Whatever. For a lot of fans, Hyperlight Breaker feels like a strange piece of everything. Natural product. It's just too different. It's not like it's really love. Why put Hyperlight other than for the brain recognition? I don't know. It's still an earthy access. Honestly, it might turn out to be fast. I think it's got a container moving bombs as we speak. Actually, with the pair spray. And the audience clearly doesn't care for it.
If neither is an option, then double time it to your destination. That should be a good deal with it.
Almost never say. Sure, in the mid-2000s, we had some play games, that wasn't great. But these live services are so much better. All in all, it's not success games like Fortnite, what they didn't realize was that what they ended up making was kind of tracking co-op games with story content, cutscenes, massive gameplay loops. Long-term support basically impossible with production value high. It lost cutscenes and elaborate content. Think of the live service going on. It doesn't work. This game ended up being paid for it's trying to reach something from out there, but the audience who might be more willing to drop $10 on an overpriced but games like this don't really know what they are, so they think it's clearly it's frustrating when the game tries to have both ways, desperately putting one the legitimacy and marketing games with the story in the broadcast, and barely including the stuff that likes it other things. It's super technical and the audience live services are the fair for real art audience is frustrated with music. Maybe people are sick of the IP, but I don't know about that. I feel the game ended better. It just didn't look like it. In terms of sales, it crashed the burn. Currently, they can sell updates for the year. I guess. All the lyrics have to replace rocks. It sounds like a drop back in the verse. It's really shifting around.
Beginning scan. Scanning verifying ID. Decontaminating circuit. All clear. Welcome.
It's got popular and long-running benefits. There's room for cat space to go through. It's not like a series of codes about doing side scrollers, and there's a lot of overlap between souls and things. It's probably wanted to be first person or a shooter. There's just some of the level design stuff really well and translated from the old metric Lords of Shadow was not the things that I'm talking about. Ours was done by a Japanese studio that hired the Western devs. Seriously, this time by taking it in a decidedly more God of War-like direction. Lord of Shadows just got the Blades of Chaos. It's second only to Dante's Inferno, blatant rips on Kratos, the job worker that he has. It goes without saying, this is not what traditional Castlevania fans wanted. It barely even had much of the basic elements. Not inspired the series, Mummy, Frankenstein, things. The people want, they replaced a bunch of PvPs and an orchestral score, but that's actually, it's very good, actually. But it doesn't feel like Castlevania at all. The first game was pretty far from fan expectations. The sequel was even crazier with the cyberpunk setting and more stealth sections. It's not that, like, it's a bad thing. It's not good, but it's also, I mean, it could be, but they managed to alienate their player base, not just once, but twice in a row. Just make a damn Castlevania game. And number 4 is Dragon Age 2. These games are consistently inconsistent, right? Every game is wildly different. The original Dragon Age ended up being some kind of success. EA was like, whatever, put out a sequel in a year and a half. Pretty much pre-ruined this sequel. So time is working against them. That's all positive, right? The marketing also didn't help me. The second Dragon Age fans started push a button and something awesome happened. They knew the game was not good.
If one motto in this game in terms of combat, and that's when you press a button, something awesome has to happen. Button awesome connected now to Dragon Age 2.
The first Dragon Age was an intentionally old school RPG. It wasn't about looking cool, looking badass. It was tactical combat oriented.
Has been added to your PCC.
EA
These
never
weapons
knew
aren't
what
the
they
power
had.
of Chiron crystals to propel
Remember
your
that
eye into the
embarrassing
air.
Marilyn Manson
You
trick?
can
Yeah,
use
that
them
was
while driving,
2009.
or on foot, or even when riding a floating
It does keep
carriage.
some of the elements from the first game. It does feel like it's by necessity for short development time, though. The stuff fans of the series still like the complex politics and character dynamics. I mean, I guess that's there to some extent, but the stuff meant to bring in the new audience with the art style and the brainless combat, that was not as, it wasn't well received. It tried to expand to a new audience, it just didn't work. Instead of doing the smart thing, just making the proper system. Dragon Age, they kept trying to reinvent the wheel with increasingly diminishing returns. I mean, it's not actually true. Inquisition was the best game in the series. It is its own beast, so constantly doing something that worked out one time. Then they took that momentum and completely squandered it. And number 3 is Resident Evil 6. Maybe the ultimate example of Xbox 360 era excess. It's full force walking sections, confused cinematic moments that are great for the gameplay. It's ridiculously loaded and overlong. The whole thing is it's the game where the series almost completely gave up on its survival. Or even parts survive by elements of the classic games, like inventory management, puzzle solving. 6, it did that. Exploration was almost entirely gone. There's no weapon upgrading. Just kind of running throughout
Thank you for your contribution.
Different world with the same stuff and the bottom of the rest of felt like the rest of why is the first game with it kind of here? And while there are good recordings, it was thick to me the series exploration, gameplay, inventory, in a comfortable in a way that most games rarely is really it really wasn't. I mean, it has gotten a little bit critical now, but it's really this not
To begin the scan, scanning bridges ID, verifying ID, clear, weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. Cargo verified. Thank you. Wow. Casino, what's up? Go ahead.
Number 2 is Command and Conquer 4, sometimes dumping the old audience for anyone makes a certain degree of sense. And then there's situations like this where almost every doesn't make sense. No sense. Yes, RTS games are all laid out by the time season 4 rolled around, and they're being superseded by free-to-play MOBAs, but the way this game attempted to appeal to that market is absolutely baffling. The game tries to MOBAify the series by focusing on multiplayer, dropping unit counts, focusing on hero units, generally streamlining gameplay based on the series is known for, but they did it wrong. Like, they went about it all wrong. It's a terrible game from the bottom up. Just an unplayable mess. There's no fun for anyone in it. Command and Conquer fans hate it. MOBA fans hate it. It's offensive to people who like good games, and I can't spend more than a half hour playing this thing before I'm baffled by the terrible design and infuriated by how it's boring. It's so boring. I love Command and Conquer, and I hate Command and Conquer 4. Let this be an example to anyone out there. If you want to make a MOBA style, it might help if you actually play a MOBA. If you're gonna just rip off a genre, let's try it. They clearly did. And finally, at number 1, it's the third. I do not know who's in the water experience. It must have been something that is even worse than all for everything on the third. Instead of being a proper sequel to the Parasite game, especially the first, it's still very well regarded. They decided for the third game to dump the name, dump all the characters in the latest
Go check it out.
choice, and dump the entire thing essentially lucrative basement dwelling creeper with lights for very still. Let me go ahead and say, probably not. Obviously, keeps them very pretty something that are also that is kind of a platonic idea. We're not talking about like being able to control cameras. I hope that explanation because I don't want to change it. Every stuff in games is fun, okay? But it's got to be a good game. The third person, holy shit, holy this amount of big game is such an understatement. How bad this game is. It's got a close hit to single game system, which honestly is also by Parasite survival that's not this is a time travel body style third person shooter. It has a lot that is excitable to the smartest of the smart. They do not mention mitochondria once in a Parasite game in the first sequel. They do mention the powerhouse of the cell every other sentence. Just like a Parasite game does. Parasite is such a cool series. They weren't originally Kirby, and they didn't need to be. Like, they're a good game. If you make a good game that's Kirby, cool. If you make a good game that's a good game that's not Kirby, also cool. Or maybe I'm just remembering them relative to this third game. It's so Kirby, like, maybe the other, I don't remember. Are they actually in comics? I do have a bonus for you when you do that. Or I don't know, Fallout 3. Yeah, this is all good negative. This one, let's put our one section in here. One doesn't mean the fact. Sometimes the worst out of that is the old interplay Fallout games that small very close. They have an amazing atmosphere and world building. Their hardcore armies are difficult to get into gamers. Like most fans at the time, I was pretty blown away with Call of Duty. You need the guys to be able to the information with the profile. Okay, yes. However, audiences for those games, the original box basically got that one. Just because I was receptive doesn't mean I want to be shot. what. Oblivion was about as friendly as the original Fallout is outwardly hostile. The strength of the IP because really makes that both the world game relevant. They Fallout 3 and 18 said, even as a certain section of the game, absolutely doesn't matter. Kind of then, on Vegas came around, and they everything happened for a little while. With the Fallout, time that the defensive efforts are what serious. Then one people remember about Fallout. They don't attack this game really bad. Regardless of what you think about the first Fallout, I'm one of the both eras of Fallout. I will say I think it's and that's all. Let us know. Subscribe to the return. So, we don't put a brand new videos every day. We gotta get to the third support. Please subscribe. Don't forget to make notifications. And always do thank you very much for watching this video. Let's give it a shot. See you next and you have to think about everything. But sometimes developers, I posted stuff and they notifications. 10 times developers didn't care about the details. Sorry about that. Number 10 is greatest public and greatest definitive right? So don't get confused with the free show cheese wasn't going to be coming from expectations. They have made a lot of improvements over the last year, and it's definitely in a better place than it was in the beats, but they're not so they're laughing. The one thing my person he looks like a weird zombie monster. Super bizarre. Because it's basically just because of how the definitive edition all the other characters on like the driver is real fast. They're not like hiding with big clothes up strap and this and it's not a bug, just a byproduct of the slab edge. Don't promptly they could have made it better. They could take two and not they could have built a dollar they all could have given out money, so maybe we'll fix it later. And after that is the red ball that when you're shifting, you know, if you play the game. But if, you know, let me show you that if you play the game, trying to point when it gets good, means you stuck around it for a long enough here. But there's a certain level of quality that you expect from art, particularly part of the design, like all of the Dishonored units. And even they all had incredibly limited locations. Like some of the especially wild look at this place, it's old, often ugly, it's just not on the store. I almost wonder if they were forced to make this game and it's not good to be like, yeah, we can't do a live service game. Bosses, No one likes to be the lectures and bosses. The next time bosses, people not make them. And, you know, that's maybe kind of a generous theory. But this challenge is bosses. It's customers of everything. Especially on the chimney, question. You jump up on it, so the chimney, you see that it's never come to chat. Or you like the black texture is the roof texture. The chimney, by itself, is like a small trimming that you made and put on the roof. It's like basically just a chimney asset that they put on the building, and that's it. Like, I really want my theory to be true, because those are the kinds of details that Arcane just doesn't see. At number 8, Lord of the Rings Goblins, Schrodinger's Explosion. I think at this point we're all aware of how bad Lord of the Rings Goblins. It's a subject we've covered pretty extensively at this point, and let's look at it. You know, in a 20-minute video that explains the minute detail that the game is bad. You just gotta look at it and get good little words, but everything about how it moves and a lot of how it moves. And you take something up. Part of the problem is there's just a lot of aspects of the game that are relatively clear you didn't care about or didn't put in, I don't know, prioritize. Like, my example I'm going to use this ridiculous moment from Chapter 2. You're supposed to detonate these explosive barrels. It's pretty standard, right? That's not an abnormal video objective. But after setting off the last one, you're just supposed to quickly escape before the barrel goes off, which results in explosion and the barrel eventually escape from a normal video game. Sounds clearly obvious. But what happens when you take too long to just wait it out? Obviously, the explosion still goes on, right? And it just kills you because it's a video game. There's consequences when you don't complete a task, especially on the right there. But it's much wrong on something, right? No, wrong, not correct, something. And instead of some God, you know, like what's shown in the cutscenes to the game just stops. It just says mission failed. Like that's it. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you get something even more ridiculous when the time runs out. Like Goblin just drops dead from nothing. Games do this kind of thing all the time, but they actually showed the explosion, and you'd think that's a really trivial detail, but unless the consequence like visually makes sense, it's not really a consequence. Like you're not playing a game on MS-DOS, it's like you have died because there's no way to animate the death. There is. In fact, there are so many animation tools at this point that it is ubiquitous that it is possible. No one would question me on that.
Here, I got you. Sure, express one of my friends.
And number 7, NBC got Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy. Again, it didn't get a great critical reception, but fan response is a totally different story. The game ended up getting really good word of mouth, and in truth, it is pretty fun. It is not the best that we've ever seen from Team Ninja. It does take a little while to become interesting too, but it's also a pretty darn good game if you give it a chance. It took me a while to get into it, but I enjoyed it after I did. That doesn't mean there are not moments in this game that are slapdash. There's actually many. When people praise the game, they're usually talking about the story of the gameplay, not so much the ugly environments and the half-ass systems that there's a lot of them. Like it's a game kind of swimming with too many ideas. One that probably could have been axed entirely was the talk menu. What is that? You might ask, what's the talk menu? Don't you just walk around towns Final Fantasy games and walk up to dudes and ladies and say, what's up? Well, yeah, Normally, not this one though. You got a menu. It's a drop-down menu. That's where you can talk with the townsfolk. And I guess, probably wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world if the people you talk to had some, I don't know, kind of purpose, or they told you something interesting, But here's the literal first two characters. I'm using the word a little loose here. The first guy is called the Grizzled Veteran. He says, "May the crystals bless you." I don't know, pointless, but whatever. So let's see what the next guy is. A guy known as Fresh-Faced Recruit. Looks exactly the same as the previous guy, and also says, "May the crystal's blessing be with you." There is an explanation mark, but yeah, the line's the same. Like, all right, I get it. He's a little bit more enthused, being fresh-faced and all, but all you changed was the punctuation, guys. You had the Obi-Wan from the original trilogy, and then you got prequel Obi-Wan with a little more gusto for being young. Oh, and you access this through a menu. That really shouldn't be ignored in any way. This is so lazy looking. Like, you get all the worst parts of talking to your random nobody NPCs from old RPGs, except, like, you don't get to go around town, and often when you have the townsfolk, somebody has something useful to say. Why was there not information given out through the NPC menu? Which is not what it's called, but it's what it is. It's one of the reasons why the game got bad reviews that it didn't really deserve. It's just they cleaned up this unnecessary, but somehow also lazy crap. And this is just like a prime example. And number 6, Crime Boss. I can't see. I can stop there, but I'm going to specify something specific. The Noodle Men falling over. A lot of goofy stuff in Crime Boss Rocket none of it holds up to scrutiny. No, not one thing. The shooting weak, celebrity police under the embarrassing story is desperately trying to replicate the game. I mean, that's required. What I would expect restriction on the best thing I can say about it is that it is so easy and bad. It's actually kind of endearing. It's trying to be over the top. It's weird because it makes the stealth kills really pathetic. Like, you sneak up on somebody's gnarly animation where your character takes them out, which would be, at least some kind of nice but Crime Boss. Yeah, you sneak up the guy, get the stealth from front, and you just punch him in the butt and fall over the steps. It's definitely
Predicting the weather is akin to predicting the future. Some animals have a kind of sixth sense that helps us pinpoint danger. We have something far better.
And it happens pretty much every time. It's not from the staff or like a
only humans possess this power to
it really doesn't do anything.
We have the capacity to live
if they're facing the other direction, it's kill. Yeah, it's stuff like this.
Once gave rise to an ambition.
It seems like they put John working in certain parts of the game and then another clearly this one. And number 5 is Dungeons & Dragons the animation part. One of 2021's most forgettable games. They could have been easy one, but it's not. Is Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. It's this dull 5 numbers Tiger talked about it in Charm, one of those games. I guess it has a couple of unique elements going for it, but on average not enough to care. I actually forgot this existed until I talk about this. What is notable about the game is how bad the animations are. I get it, animation is fine, but that Archer right there, that's one of the most pathetic animations I've ever seen. Using a bow is pretty standard at this point, so plenty of reference out there to pull from, but this is a fun project. That's it. That's what it looks like. So, the juxtaposition between how powerful the arrow shot looks compared to how little your character moves is probably the thing that stands out the most here. I mean, the bow shot is so strong that it apparently causes the archer to throw their hand back in the air after firing, but it's not strong enough for them to do anything else, like at all. The torso just stock still, no animation at all. And it's not hit either. It's impossible not to see it in playing with this class. Most of the other animations in the game look acceptable as far as I can tell. This one really did not get the care that it should have, which is, any bit of care.
Ready to change up your vibe for spring? Let me show you 3 ways to style this Ashley stuff.
A nosotros nos gusta vivir con todo. Conquistamos con todo. La comida la disfrutamos con todo. Aunque a veces pueda causarnos malestar estomacal, salimos picotes el rápido alivio contra la indigestión y pesadez estomacal para seguir viviendo como nos gusta con todo.
And number 4 is Saints Row, 2022 Saints Row specifically. Very much classic. We're going to go hard because it's not only bad, but it's so different when compared to the original games. In Saints Row 3, car crash is pretty great. Got some neat sound effects. It's actually fine with car crash. Here we go. I guess, obviously that's the thing. Dramatic, like frustrating, but it just makes the world less dynamic. How do you feel the Saints Row you feel? But there's just nothing there. That's kind of what the Saints Row is professional. Dog, walking through it's nice. Car crash is hardly the biggest problem in the game, though. And just a good example of how overall the game is. Black slits and and number 3 is Sonic 06, which is a buggy match, but scale used to be big. What does that mean? It's almost hard to do what does that mean? So, you get the scale, which tricks Sonic's 3D model. Gives him the ability to beat the jump. That is what it's supposed to do. So you're probably wondering what he's shooting up to do. Well, let me tell you what. No, it's actually not infinite jumping. And because the developers have to about change how to jump. So it's just like jumping. And that's not the editor. The different color. You never run out of energy. You're using powers and forever, jump forever. It seems like it's because they didn't share anything, or they didn't carry anything. Sonic 06 was many bugs, and it made the experience so much quicker. This one actually kind of is fun though, so it almost makes it more comical. So I'm glad they didn't care about the details here, because it lets you do something that is fun in a game that is otherwise so handicapped fights and problems that it's just not fun. That, everything about that great story. I'm not gonna get into it. Like, there's not going to be pay attention to detail. Sit through if you want to. I don't know. And number 2 is the Grey Hill incident. Everything about the TV kind of feels cool bragging on game that seems developer, but the Grey Hill incident is so bad that it's hard not to. I'm not sure if the game is satire or if it's serious, and if somebody does know concern, or at least has a good theory, feel free to comment on that. The tone is all over the place. It is not exactly. The voice actors are trying, but they do not know how to use dialogue, and I cannot blame them. I mean, this is not me saying that they should have done a better job.
Everybody. You're trying to identify my house and march, opening your wallet, hacking your bed, house and
Probably the most baffling moments in the game, though, comes early when the TV news report comes on. I mean, this here is so bizarre, especially for a game that's been set for early. I mean, it's like, why is the TV black and white? I kind of feel like an idiot saying this, but color TVs have been the standard for, like, 2 decades. Yes, the black and white TV existed for but That was not what's it like for campers so like, what's this obvious modern school crack going on? Why does the video, which is allegedly captured by a teenager, have so much digital artifact? Like, if you were to guess, the intent was to make it look as though before they're going to sell something. Necessarily need that. You'll find VHS tapes but for a completely different reason. This one, I don't know why did you think signs off with this was like this whole thing is really talking what the 90s were. Just a vague understanding of the community in general. It's not about it. Student broadcast is so bizarre. And then aliens are that's it. That's all. These comments. Yeah, we're talking about the missing A here. One of the most common things about aliens, colonial marines, they were less apex predators and more headless chickens that you promote out. And this is kind of a problem with aliens being predators scared. You know, even just like a threat. There's some people that are afraid of threats, but they know threats, so they treat it accordingly. They're like a surprise. They're more of an annoyance than anything serious.
I'm glad that I've been freaking bumped at all.
And it's genuinely shocking how this one is. Because it's such a small, easy fix, literally related to a typo of a single word in the INI file. Doing a spell check on the INI file literally fixes this. So the word tether in the INI file aliens and AI spell to ism. They changed the tether to tether. Only has if you change that in the INI file, it gets more aggressive about keeping track of the It's also not the only typo in the INI file that affects the there's an uppercase it should be lowercase, and it changes it's present. Who cares? They could have literally put a spell check and fixed the big problem. I mean, you don't typically install check in the iPhone. So just changing a couple letters. That's it. Yeah, that's all for today. Let us know if you like this video. Like, if you're not subscribed, it's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, subscription. So subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, thank you.
Well, to help prevent that from happening again, we've upgraded your own cargo scanner. Say you're about to get pinged. If you time it right, you can return your favor and cancel out their pulse with your own. They'll be none the wiser, and you can carry on without worry. Timing is everything, though.
Thank you. Now let's start really using Timefall to our advantage. Our form will be a world first. Truth be told, we've got some tests failed to us. Without the ability to predict Timefall, the results have been less than stellar. The Timefall around here was fairly regular, so we had a reasonable idea what to plan, what to harvest. But then the terrorists went through everything on whack. Too many dead, too many craters. Weather became impossible to predict. The network's forecast on how let's get back on track, thank goodness. If all goes to plan, we'll be able to expand our operation and use Timefall to cultivate whole swaths of land. We'll continue our genetic research too, of course. and see if we can't find a way to help develop a sustainable ecosystem. Hell, maybe we can stumble into some answers about the time vault we're at. We got our work cut out for us. But I'm enough of the challenge. Thanks again, Miss Aaron. You've given us hope for a better tomorrow. I can't wait for August.
That's the way, Sam. Halfway there.
This child
You can do it.
running inside you with my shoes on.
Well, would you look at that? You've only just brought the time alarm to the network, and already we've got new orders. May as well make use of the return trip. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further.
Valerie, Rob and I are going to our house in the Hamptons, and trust me, it will be no place. You're back together, like for real, and happier and stronger than ever. Try not to burn the place down. Excuse me? She's a baby.
Either in this universe or any of the infinite parallels, could I possibly have that for Wait, hang on. Is she really? Oh my god, yeah. You look amazing.
Really?
I mean, relatively.
Shit ass. But you gotta pace me. I'm so into this bitch. So for everything else that goes in, something else gotta go out.
So, diuretics?
And laxatives. They're Sunday bar.
What could possibly go wrong?
Is it Barry? Is that being very possibly literally protest we get murdered like Jimmy Archer?
Okay, Jesus Christ. Wow. You have got to be eating. I'm Archer, Pam's boyfriend.
Bullshit, my asshole.
Pam, Edie's here.
Civil and polite, and we will not let it push your
She should be right out.
No, okay, I don't think notice, and I just really think to ask, but would you mind if you
Jesus Christ, woman.
Sam order bridges.
Here I thought she was kidding about the big spot.
Stupid cricket, Edie! Also, all space fight. Wait, what the?
Barry? Hey! You?
Hey, you! What can I do you for?
So, hey, Arthur totally played Mallory played on the play. Cheryl is Cheryl.
Yep. But first, this is the first.
Maybe what after like 6 months, we'll use the best. Walt's present will be great. Oh, it works. What does? The K9000 Intercell Pulse Rifle. What do you mean? What does it do?
I swear it's familiar with.
I am not.
What frequency that experience should not pass? Or they're punching.
Oh, I was pretty sure that was a coincidence.
That's what they said about Tesla's death rate. So there's paper. Hey, hold up. What's the favor?
Just promise to use your powers to
Yes.
No! Lana did the barriers, jizzier. I'm getting married tomorrow, so tonight at my rehearsal dinner I get all you can eat fried bread and bottomless big food.
Give me that. Put it down. We are going to go find Pam, and then you are going to apologize for hurting her feelings.
Why do you care? You're just a... Wait, are you really her boyfriend?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the secret agent. So, yes, not only am I a secret agent, I am the world's greatest secret agent. Yellow.
Jesus, Arthur, you're not even the greatest secret agent in that room.
Actually, Barry, that's where you... Wait, Barry.
Hey, Joey.
How did you get... Where are you? How did you even know I was here?
I followed you.
You followed me.
That's obviously the best boyfriend. So I'm just gonna take on now.
Oh, wait. I saw it. And now you follow me. That is, if you ever want to see your buddies. Wait, what was your name?
Your worst freaking nightmare.
Pam? Oh, right, yeah, it's Pam. Anyway, if you don't want to spend the next year signing for packages over and beef shit, meet me up by the old train out there. Pam said,
now you listen to me, Barry. Barry. God damn, son of a cyborg man.
Like in anal work?
He kidnapped your sister, you jerk.
What? Who was kidnapped Pam?
I'll tell you the cops. Come on.
Look, I know you're bitter because you people can't get married or whatever, but also you care to eat fried ribs.
Well, idiot, I was almost halfway hoping it wouldn't come to this.
Come to what?
Hello? Lana?
No.
What are you still doing here? I thought you had Rambo sleepaway camp.
Sear school, and I did, but Arthur hosts me, and I don't have a sitter.
Oh, well, you should have
I
asked.
asked everybody, even Krieger.
Wow. So you asked Krieger to watch your baby before you'd ask me.
I didn't want to be here.
We're just the guy trying to make some kind of ejaculation ray.
No, it's a pants shitting ray.
Okay, well, then that's new. But
Cyril, look.
how about this? I'll drive you both upstate and get us a hotel room.
or AJ and me.
While you run around the woman's eating snails and beetles. That way, if you're anxious about being away from her, you're right there.
This is weird. Why is this weird?
Because what kind of sick bastard travels with duct tape and rope?
No, we actually made a couple of stops while you were knocked out. Had to get more Tom from the Collins. Oh, and also Ron Gunston.
Wait, what?
Well, technically, vertical.
How long was I out?
20 minutes?
Damn it!
Yeah, that is not good for you.
Perfect. They can still make the rehearsal dinner.
After we rescue Pam, now shut up. Oh, and Ron, shut up for a second. This looks like a train elevator.
Oh yeah, right down that road. Take a left. Take a left.
For me, that's pretty lucky.
Good, Barry. Thanks, Barry. Archer comes in to save her. Could get the heels off.
So you're just one last thing, huh?
Okay, feel like a fox. Okay. Yeah, dude's fiance nothing but little bit of this guy. One waffle. Just so you know, my worst nightmare, which is actually recurring, is me and Santa Claus getting chased through the snow. Exactly.
Piece of shit rental.
You drive like a dick.
No, I don't, and also shut up, because right now, I'm going to explain what cyborgs are, and why they're a threat to our entire way of life. Having been an animal, obviously, but someday soon.
Hey, hello.
Beginning scan. Stranding bridges
Asimov, reload. Look, never mind, they don't even play it Harry, because he's already inside quantum and also a gaping prolapsed anus. So, grain elevator. Besides a place to blow farmers, what's the point?
Store grain, dumbass.
Yeah, but you elevator it way the hell up there, then... Wait, cows don't go up there eating, do they?
Oh my god, no, it's gravity fed back down to trucks and trains and shit.
Put your on the ground.
Yes!
See where I'm going with this? Why not make it horizontal so the cows can just walk up and eat whenever?
So just a mile-long trough of grain getting rained on all the damn time.
Well, no, it'd have like a salad bar roof on it, you idiot.
Said the dumb waiter. Did it, Archer? Is it your dumb? You dressed like a waiter?
Told you!
God damn it, Pam, this is exactly what a man should wear to a...
Holy shit, Max! Yeah, and just a heads up.
Damn it, Pam. How about a... Oh, wait, heads up, did you mean... Seriously, Barry, why all the anger?
Because Katya broke up with me!
Too soon.
Good work. New order available. Access to location.
Oh, wow. Where to start? Even in a new dress, you look like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. The whole town thinks you're a giant asshole from New York.
Just say New York.
And Dad was right. You'll never find a husband unless you convince the blind man you're a seeing thing. A man cut me down from here! Yeah.
But you know, you're no prize, right?
Excuse me?
He said...
Archer, do something!
Flower box. Shotgun.
Hey, tracksuit! If anybody's gonna choke my sister's bitch neck, it's gonna be me!
What are you doing? What, you got a little shotgun? Yeah, remember right now when I'm a freaking cyborg?
Barry, just for you, I got explosive ammo.
You what?
Jesus Christ, you could have killed me!
I see that. Building structure there. Spot outside the sensor bridge target.
That can't be good. So hey, how the hell did this?
Oh, God.
Forgot what I was gonna say.
Weapons detection. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying
Thank you!
weapons detected.
Thank you!
Will be locked until the
Shit, thought you were thanking me.
Well,
Forgot the
Sam
food box.
bridges.
What? You'll never find me. So, you really think he's dead?
Only way to be sure.
access restrictions lifted.
Hello? I'm sorry, what? Shut up, no. No. What are you saying, Dawn?
Sir! Sir, over there! Is that a man? Yeah, you're damn right it is. Hey, slow down, bro. Would you Jesus Christ, Mark. I think I got a blowjob out of your place.
What? I'm sorry. Did you say a blowjob? What? Yes, of course it's off, So, here's me, Dawn, overserved on Fin Rouge and increasingly impatient for his crime team to find leftover person here. Let's binge old root suck him off behind the Sunday bar. So thank you, Pamela, for ruining my wedding. Oh, and also my life. You ruined my life. Are you happy?
Yes. All I wanted.
Jeez, little broom, you believe this? A man's like me at 7 a.m. Wonder what crawled up her butt. No, there's no telling. Remember, these are squirrel microscopic organisms, and literally a sport.
What have you heard?
About this scam.
Yes, you're right. I suggest we get up there so we don't have to find out what grave consequences means.
It means,
If I contact the permanent now.
Jesus, what up his butt? Hurry up, you ding-dongs. Wait, I'm coming. Hurry up. Don't keep your panties on at once.
Wait, is Archer blowing this off?
No, hold the door! Hold the door! It's not doing anything! Captain Ray, hold the frickin' door!
No, it's maximum overdrive all over.
Oh, good, you made it.
Look, Ray, one is red and one is green. What are you, colorblind?
I am actually.
Typical.
What? So, does anyone have any idea what this meeting is about? I know it's Archer.
What?
That was a figure of speech, eh?
Will you quit yelling? Yes.
Remain calm. Do not panic.
No one's panicking, Krieger.
Only because they haven't hatched yet.
What? What hasn't happened?
Krieger, what hasn't hatched? That's what Krieger.
I swear
Krieger, shut up.
See? It's broken.
Ray.
Archer.
Hang on. Ray, Zero, give me a hand here.
What? You should be doing this. No.
Carol, shut up.
You're not my supervisor!
Yeah, hey, guys.
Well, thanks to Ray, who let's just all assume broke the elevator somehow, we're stuck at the top.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying weapons detected. All units will be locked until the Welcome to Sandwich Bridges.
Hey!
Remember when the office shut down and we spent the entire year what, so people just quit? And on the subject of things that don't work here anymore, my phone
I mean,
Yeah, you're not gonna get a signal. I installed an RF jammer. Of the building? No, of the elevator.
Why? What? And for what possible reason?
So people would quit staring at their phones and talk to each other.
Okay, well, then let's open the...
Trap door! Ray, open the trap door!
You can't!
Oh my god, Cyril, please! I'm way stronger than you! That being said, this thing's stuck! It's not stuck. It's locked from the outside.
Wait, what?
It's not for stranded passengers to get out. It's for rescue crews to get in. The last thing they want is people crawling around on top of a malfunctioning elevator car. Who's they?
Big elevator. Nah. And why do you know so much about elevators?
I don't know. It's a hobby. I guess I've just always been fascinated by them. I honestly have no response to that. Anyway, I bet the top of the car smashed right into the motor, so... Hope the radio jammer's okay. Thanks, Krieger. I think we all needed that. And besides, we don't need cell phones. We have elevator phone. Cyril, try that. I am, if you'd shut up. Bro, this phone's all sticky.
Yeah, my phone is bad sticky.
Of course you do.
And since when are you elevator boss?
And it's
Typical.
okay, Ray. Interface.
I'm sorry?
With the controls. Come on, Cyborg. R2D2 it.
R2D2.
Yeah, poke around in there and whatever. Shut down the tractor beast.
With what? My dick?
However you normally do it.
I don't normally do it!
I know, but this is an emergency.
Hey! Hey!
Damn it, Carol. There's nobody.
Shut up, stupid! No! Go get help, boy.
What do I
No
need?
time! Go get help!
I need so
It's a
hungry.
toaster.
Well, at the very least, maybe he'll break that toast.
And speaking of toast, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't eat breakfast.
Hey, wait a second.
Goddamn bear claw!
Cyril, what is that? Is that a bagel?
No, get off! Jeez, just napkins.
Guys, get the napkins.
Okay, let's just take it down now.
Easy. Hey,
Hey, stop that.
everybody come. I'm sorry. Seriously, I'm sorry. I sincerely apologize for doing it.
Parker, do that again.
I swear to God I won't do it again. Thanks for listening for once. That being said, that's what I gotta go do. Right, shut up. Seriously, let's get that sweat messed up.
Keep you mad at me.
I want it. That's like a tablecloth or whatever. We're all gonna put our food and drink in the middle, and then I'll be in charge of rationing it out.
You want to be in charge?
Because I've been lost at sea. What? I was lost at sea, Lana, and we had to ration the food and water. Well, we should have. I actually paid all another time. If anything, that proves my point. People like me are exactly why we have to ration our food and water.
People like you?
The strong, like me and you and Sam, will naturally prey on the weak.
Maybe we should together. We don't know how long we're gonna be in.
Yeah, give it up, Squeaky.
Yeah, shut up. I'll start. Here's maybe 6 ounces of bourbon. Cyril would hurry it up already.
For the love of God, will you just... Hey, wait a minute. How exactly is this supposed to work?
It puts the vest on the floor. We put food and drink on the vest.
Yeah, but where on the floor? There's no room.
It'll get kicked over.
Okay, so we tie the vest into like a pouch.
That's sick, man. There's no sleep.
Plus, the food will just fall out of the manhole.
Well, that is official. The sweater vest is literally good for nothing.
You know what?
Besides how to dress like an adult.
Well, that's the only thing you do for like an adult.
Yeah, total burn. I hope I don't start crying later when I'm driving an automobile to or from a bar.
After having sex with a prostitute.
Which is the most adult thing a person could possibly do.
I like him in vest. Me too.
Yeah, it works for him.
Thanks, baby. No, shut up. I need to think.
A bagel what? Look, this isn't that hard, people. We've got a bagel, 4 coffees, a quart of beer. Not cold.
This is a phony, shouting.
Thanks, Omar. And on top of that, we've got, I'm guessing, 2 flasks of bourbon.
I didn't know if I'd have time for lunch.
And Krieger? Coffee?
No.
Tea? What is it? Soup?
The fine soup.
Would it be safe to say nobody here wants to eat Jesus God. Okay, so how about we all agree to hold on to our food and drinks for now? If for no other reason than...
Oh, God, that wasn't his bear claw. What did you eat for breakfast?
As I was saying before you, Pam, drink a third of a gallon of malt liquor, maybe we shouldn't eat or drink too much because... Yes, Pam?
I have to pee.
Oh, shit! Just drink the coffee! That's what I was trying to say!
Oh, I'm not a freaking mind reader.
Yeah, in her defense, you didn't finish.
Yeah.
Damn, shut up.
Oh, I have an idea.
Okay, wait. Does it have anything to do with our current situation?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
We are stuck in an elevator.
The idea, not our current situation.
Then I guess you know from thinking like this very minute.
You want to drink, you want to relax stress, you want more bear claws, you want to smoke, you want to masturbate, and you're scared that we'll figure out you're actually just a Krieger clone.
It's all just common sense.
How is it common sense that she thinks I want to masturbate?
Come on, Cyril. For most of us, you just rattled off our obvious addictions.
I'm not addicted to lecturing people. I'm working for evidence, no grace.
Not addicted to masturbating.
Yeah, come on. Hand on the Bible, lie detector, gun to your head. You don't want to masturbate right now.
Well, not just.
Well, I want to drink, so...
And I want to smoke, so...
Still want to be up for Jackie.
Pam, shut up now. And just where exactly were you hoping to smoke that cigarette? We're in the yacht.
But since I'm stuck in here with you people...
Shit! Well, the shit is that I am breastfeeding, so you will not smoke in this elevator. You wanna bet?
You're just a regulars.
I also extreme masturbation. Zero. I love one.
I do not want to masturbate!
Go for it. Now you're watching that.
Guys, come on! Hey! I'm serious. I cannot stress this enough. You do not want tinnitus. Probably not that either. Now then, Carol, you had an idea? Oh, you told us that you had one.
What? Oh, right. Yes. We all jump up and down at the same time to unjam this stupid thing, and then it plummets down into the basement, and we boing into that giant sprig at the bottom of the elevator shaft, and then we're escape.
So, suicide test. Old people are good. If we vote, who's in? You. You just want an excuse to wet your pants.
Need an excuse. Yeah, what is this? Soviet Russia?
Wait, are you serious?
Krieger, what's the deal? What's happening work?
What? You're asking the guy with a thermos full of human beings.
It's...
What is this?
Cyril, shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Krieger, would that work?
Maybe. First of all, there's no giant spring at the bottom. It's a hydraulic lever, but you don't want to be in the elevator when it slams into it.
For that second, you just jump up in the air.
How would you know when to jump?
Because you give me a lecture on it.
I know, fuck it.
Because here's the thing, safety brakes. That's actually what the light show is invented, not the elevator itself, but the safety brakes and stuff. You bet you can stop it here.
So wait, would the brakes stop us?
I don't know if it's damaged in the crash. Hey, but what's the worst case? Worst case is we got I do not have direction.
Well, maybe not now, but then you get a severe headache to be on him.
Meanwhile, on your bodies are smashing around in here like trash dummies until one at a time you are each impaled by triathlon correction.
Yeah.
Someone's steak.
Yeah, I am figuratively starving.
For me, or zero for you?
Both.
I can't take it! I am smoking! Ow! Get your foot off my line!
Ray, I am serious.
God damn it! I'll put my mouth right next to the hole and blow into it!
Fine, but...
Wait a minute!
Well, then I can't.
Where?
I think I can get it all back in here.
No, you can't!
Wait a minute! Everybody stop! Two things. One, I really think we need to have a serious talk about getting crazy back in the house. Fine, whatever. No more crazy.
What was things?
Oh, nothing. I'm just having a stroke.
No, you're not! It's me! We came back!
What the? God damn it, pal!
I thought the hole was bigger.
I mean...
There's nothing to wipe it up with.
Maybe it is good for something!
Crazy? That's cashmere!
Oh my god, sorry.
What, so it's non-absorbent?
Lana, it's cashmere. There are rules. I'm sorry, Cyril. I didn't know.
Oh, son of a bitch! Guess we can go ahead and use my suit pants.
You can just say pants.
They wet your pants. It's still basically everywhere. And if it gets on my suede boots... Okay, jeez.
Why aren't you wearing underwear?
Serious shit. If I got something, don't be talking about it. Yes, exactly. There. Happy?
No. Yes.
Yeah, hey, and over here too, because if it gets on these boots, I will not be responsible for it.
Right? Isn't it just so liberating?
Hey, what's Susan doing?
He's making toast.
I want to see.
Well, too bad.
Stop torturing me.
Torturing me?
Oh, wait, take a picture of you. What a stupid punk.
It's so impossible.
It's totally done. The KGB bunker department, they put a camera in.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. It's so impossible.
Stop it!
Serious.
Yeah, seriously.
911 operator.
Hello? Did you hear me?
Hello? I'm there.
I'm trapped in an elevator. Yes!
Ma'am? Don't call me. If you're with me. And for the record, being stuck in an elevator is not an emergency. So I suggest you call your super.
No.
Oh, call her back and tell her Carol's got crippling claustrophobia.
Please what?
I'm stuck in an elevator.
Breaking 911 is a mess. I am locking this
Oh my god. We need this too. We do, kind of.
Great, call Mallory. It's not in the right pattern.
Wait, I'll do.
Valerie, I bet she's downstairs. She can call an elevator repair guy. Oh, yeah, shit.
Yeah, hang on. Right? Hang on. I didn't say hang on.
Hang on. What are you doing?
What did you call it? She said, clapping her loudly on the amplifier over her. And yours.
Stop talking. Everybody stop talking. No.
How about it?
I'm constantly getting stuck in elevators. I'm constantly getting stuck in elevators. Well, then, wish had been tired no longer.
Exercise together. So hungry. You got elevator stuck on purpose. What are you talking about? Exercise. No, it wasn't. We were going to watch organisms can. So that bag is bullets, that bag is diapers, the cooler is breast milk, which obviously needs to go
Dirty white breast milk.
Joey's furniture.
Like beer glass. Beer alcohol. What? So no beer?
Why would I drink beer?
Because you don't want me drinking liquor.
I don't want you drinking anything.
Well, that's all for her. I won't drink while you're gone. I take this very seriously.
That's one of these wheelhouse guys.
Yeah, and if he was here...
Seriously?
I know, it isn't. It's like, why you can
Well,
I'm kidding. It's an annual 3 days off. Probably 2, but I let it roll over from last year. Well, paid.
Have you please babysit this place?
No, thinking maybe somewhere anything.
No, not all. I mean, like firearms, for instance. Are they stored securely?
Yes. One up, go. It's in good hands. I know what I'm doing. I've read 10 of the Babysitter's Club books.
Really?
Yeah, I'm totally a Christie with maybe like a dash of Claudia.
Because I won't have my phone. So when you realize you can't handle it,
I won't.
when you do, please shut up. This is the main number at the Zen Center, and a staff member will come and find me.
In your stupid, what is it, a wigwam?
It's a yurt.
Wow, even stupider.
Archer, I'm serious.
Me too. Paying to spend 24 hours sweating in a yurt is literally the dumbest thing you've ever done. You're right. Maybe this will help you spend some of your negative energy. Have fun and say hi to your spirit animal.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow night. I bet you all for
Hopefully that ain't gonna watch that now. See that anything? That was teachable enough about a little thing called confidence. And contrary to what you may have heard, you can never have too much of it. Or any other mind, release some stars or Jesus Christ, let us stop the motor. Okay, here we go. We have tequila and coffee with her. Alright, so we can make, I guess this will be black Mexican. That's not amazing. That's what it is. If you had it milk, it would be a black Mexican, but it all comes to breast milk, which would make it rusty creature. And also point out, okay? Because your mom likes water AJ, but she doesn't need to, because when you're with me, kid, you're a safe and quiet.
Where's the goddamn first aid kit?
Behind the bar, and quit yelling.
Why did you hit me? Cuz, get your shit together.
Get your shit together, man. You're the one who's bleeding to death.
Yeah, from my ears. So shut up.
Everybody shut up. Because, spoiler alert, this is a baby.
And why do you have a baby?
Months later, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
In your apartment.
Yeah, or a motel, or a porta-john.
Are you trying to piss me off?
Not really.
Well, you are. So why do you keep your first aid kit in the bar?
Because that's where over 80% of home accidents happen.
Really? They happen in the bathroom.
Not my home. Speaking of which, why are you in it, and who is he?
Sterling Archer, this is Farouk Ashkani.
Yeah, hi. Black Mexican.
Hey Dick, I happen to be Pakistani.
I was offering you a drink, but all I have is tequila and coffee liqueur.
Sorry, I thought
No, if anything, you were. I think black or Mexican is an insult. My child is actually multiracial, so...
You speak Urdu?
No, just that one phrase.
The only phrase you know in Urdu is no shit, you go creeping pig devil.
What? I thought it meant I'm sorry. Not one at night in a crotchy whorehouse suddenly went from pretty bad to much worse.
I'm gonna stop.
Some big shit. I mean, this is a baby.
His time's a bit of a battle. Till yesterday, Farouk decided to go back to San Antonio. Now he wants to go to Mars.
Are we not on the same side?
Anyway, I was walking him into a CIA safe house when a bunch of his former colleagues were waiting for us. I had to shoot our way out of there.
But how do they know where the... Oh my god, could the CIA have a lead?
That's what I said.
Anyway, until I find the lead and plug it, I need you for babysitting.
And I object to the term babysit because clearly I am not a baby.
And I'm already babysitting what clearly is an actual baby, so...
Can I hold you?
Yeah, okay. You know, be careful.
I got it. There we go.
Archer, come on.
No.
24 hours.
No.
And 100 right?
Yes.
Okay, go. I'll call you after I do 3, and you'll get into the new safe.
Payment will be...
By wire transfer.
problem?
Well, I just didn't know if I should bring my sack with a big dollar sign on it.
Just bring him. I need to borrow a shirt.
Rude.
Why do you...
There's a logic to all of it.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's
Right? What's the deal with that safe house? Am I right? Come on, they should put it up. This no house. But this place is safe though, right?
Yeah.
I mean it's the penthouse and I assume that's the only door, so...
well, except for the terrorists, but...
Yeah, so maybe we should lock that? Sorry, I was just kind of freaking out, man. I just saw a guy get shot.
Well, if you get her started again, you're gonna see you get shot. So
Yeah, okay. So you have guns here, right?
yeah, luckily have tons of them.
Yeah, but...
Hang on, not but a lot.
Yeah, okay. But on you, I mean like...
Am I strapped? No, homie, I'm not.
Okay, so you don't have a gun on you, is what I'm saying.
And no is what I'm saying.
Okay, good. I think that's just gonna make this next part run easier.
Oh my god. Okay, good stuff. You have to be going on in a second.
I'm sorry.
The closet sets up. Just one ask for help. Heck, you got Slater in already with a big blood. Oh man, she's not in. Get her. Like I said, you're shot me. I wanted you. Well, you nailed it, asshole. Jesus Christ, did Lana pay you extra to shoot me?
Okay, I don't want to spawn us,
But I'm sorry.
yeah, me too. She sounds like a real friend. Actually, this is all.
Hey, you know, listen to me, alright? Listen, I don't know what's going on, but you're gonna hit me the baby.
No, Mr. Archer, I am not. Not until you take me to your headquarters so I can access the camera.
Yeah, I heard you, but I'm not going anywhere until you put it up there.
Hey, whatever.
Beginning scan. The standard bridges
You drive like
all weapons will be locked until the porch. All clear. Welcome.
No CIA?
Nope. My follow team created a diversion so that Slater would bring me to you so that you would bring me here.
Just don't hurt her.
Well, I hope it won't come to that.
You really should.
Just make sure they're not going to surprise.
It's Friday night. Why the hell are people still here? I don't know.
I guess it's
Easy, Pete. An inside straight. Got 3 on the hip. I need 4. Yeah, I'll go.
Have fun and I hope you get hate crime.
Hey, what?
Seriously. Hate crime is right here. You know what?
Guys, come on. Can't we have one poker night without a hate crime?
Okay, A, the thing last month wasn't a hate crime.
Because I will straight flush your brains out the back of your skull!
It was just a regular crime.
And obviously now I put my gun in the time lock safe until the game's up.
And so basically, the only thing keeping you from hurting each other is the lack of access to fire.
For Canada. What thing works for Canada?
Hey guys. Are you playing strip poker?
No, it just gets hot as balls in here.
Okay, well,
Yeah, literally.
right. I just came by because,
Because you need help with the baby and you can't call on us and you can't ask one of us for help.
for your information, Cyril, I don't need help with AJ because I,
Hired a Manny! Hey, I'm Manny!
What, Mexican?
No, thank you. I probably should.
Shut what?
Swim across the Rio Grande?
Where's Woodhouse?
my guess, Avenue D. Anywho, we just gotta grab, some baby stuff. So, we're gonna go do that. Manny?
Good luck with your cake cards.
Go back to Canada, Gila flirt. Okay, any of you gonna rape big devils? Nothing wild but the dealer.
The Archer seems like scared of you guys.
And large as what? You know, now that you mention it, he did actually seem to be
Oh, right.
I bet he's just on the CDL.
The what?
Maybe in download. Please, like you all wouldn't bang Alan Thick if you had the chance.
I think we should go check it out.
Well, if we're not gonna play poker,
I thought this was Ouija.
So those guys,
Kind of dense, right? Right. Totally. Okay, now enter the command sequence string. Okay, good. Now once entered that file still working on. You also type like a pickle. Sorry, I don't want to mess up. Man, you are nothing like your file. All these stories about what a badass you are, but I gotta tell you, Farouk's not seeing it. Well, in those stories, I'm probably not changing poopy diapers, so... Do you seriously not even care what I'm doing with your mainframe? I honestly don't. Okay, I'm gonna tell you anyway. I'm using it to backdoor my state-of-the-art spyware to the CIA network, so Pakistani intelligence will know everything they do in real time. And why are you telling me this? Wait, what? I mean, now I'm just gonna tell the CIA, and they'll find the spyware. Well, that was only one of many, many possible things I could be doing. Okay. No, and the very fact that I told you that's what I'm doing, I mean, that was clearly misdirection, right? Okay. Plus, I doubt you'll be talking very much after I shoot you in the face. Take it easy. Shit, I don't have a will.
I'm a no. What the shit, Manny?
Baby! What the heck's going on? You don't see that every day.
I didn't even see it today.
Wait! So here's the thing, Farouk. I don't know about any stories, but whatever badass shit that you heard I did, you really need some context, because pretty much my whole life, pretty much right up until this minute, my default setting has been half-assed. But that was before I had a child. A child you threatened to harm. A child, I just realized, who's probably on her way up to the roof, so Aunt Pam can swat it by planes.
Wait, how are we doing? The roof's the first place they'll look.
So imagine, as I literally beat you to death, hang on, yeah, literally, that a giant hand has turned my dial from half-ass to quadruple ass. Wow, that is a lot of ass. Basically 8 times the ass. So can I just say one thing before we get into all the beating to death? What? I still have a gun? All right.
What's going on in there? Okay,
So what should we do?
Before you shoot me, can I just say one thing? What?
Though he calls himself a judgment man, he belongs to work close as a
What the shit, Cyril? Really?
takes anything from simple wireless transcripts to individual parts of the civic network.
This is exactly how
But after he established himself on civic,
She could soak up some of these bullets. God, finally. Okay, that's 8 rounds, including the one on my shoulder, so idiot. God damn it. Oh, right. God, it's a Why?
because Sheriff
Well, my hook to is as strong as I thought. Oh, yeah! I'm gonna show you what I did! But I'm gonna assume it's a small back. So we gotta get to the elevator. It's empty! What if it's empty?
Gentlemen, I'm afraid your statement was not me. The price is the price. If you wish to negotiate, you may do so, Mr. May.
Shit! Fucking crap.
If this asshole doesn't kill all of you to do it for him. And take that ridiculous thing off. Wait a minute. Give me that. Okay, on my signal, I'm gonna draw the spire. You idiots make a run for it. 5 10 minutes. You hit the grip at the safety before the rest of these jerks get here. Who cares? No, I'm genuinely not.
So while we're eating meat, what are you going to be doing?
Such a chunk full of nerve gas, right? Well, shut up. Just get AJ out of here. I'll take care of the rest.
Ah, fuck!
forgive you on that. That asshole dressed up for AJ. Although now that I think about it, this whole thing is totally her fault. Well, as far as field operations are concerned, she's a huge liability. Now shut up and wait for my signal. Really? I should probably stop laying down now. You can Mr. Venom. I mean, yeah, we should have, but it's probably too late now, so... Now I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna chop through one of these. Quit saying that! Oh, yeah, where do you think
Toddler's down as
protect baby? What the?
Not bad. I'll give you a 7.
Wait, what? Me or him?
No, him. Slater said you were great. You know, I took off the point because Pam was feeding AJ Vienna sausages.
Idiot. She wasn't solid food yet. They weren't solid.
The fact that you were pre-chewing them and spitting them into her mouth.
What the hell is going on?
What's wrong with you?
Your stars, I got shot twice.
Where did you get your gun?
My cousin, you know what gave me look like so fake? And I thought a real one would help me get into the character better.
I'll give it a rest, Jason.
He's an actor. Almost the improv, but you set this whole thing up. You had me shot. You had Slater shot.
Nah, CIA guys did his makeup. Look pretty good.
Were you assholes in on that story?
Let's go down. Please, you can't tell them anything.
Why? Why'd you do this?
I wanted to see if I could trust you to take care of AJ by yourself.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about trust.
Let's talk about drinking a gallon of black Mexicans before driving around in a car with your infant daughter.
I was at gunpoint.
Listen, well, you're still lying when you say you were listening.
You knew I was lying.
What is this? Wait, that's your excuse?
That's Lana. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've been fairly desperate need of medical attention. On your phone. God damn it, why are you coming?
Alright, I call this qualified stuff.
Yeah, really feel like I failed it.
So, you do improv, huh?
Yep, and treating the improvable dream down the 23rd of Lex. You guys gotta come down. You know, maybe take a class that's good for confidence, or just at least come out to a show. Here's some flyers. Our upcoming shows are on there, plus there's a coupon for a free drink if you're a lady. So, is it not the improbable dream? Huh, that explains process.
My girl. Oh, because of some terrorist nut jobs. And their buddies and friends out the fucking express. Not to mention the French assholes who are going to kick White's ass. Whatever. Let's see the goods. You made me TikTok like you're supposed to. That's your job, isn't it? As far as I'm concerned, all you porters are no better than terrorists. And nothing you say will convince me otherwise. So take your cue and fuck off.
Well, okay then. Something tells me that if we want to win him over, we need to figure out what really happened to that woman in the hologram. He seems to think she died in the attack. But we checked South Rock City's records, and there's no death certificate for a woman matching her description. Which is why I asked Fragile to look into it.
Hey, Sam. I was looking through my old client database on the off chance I might find our mystery woman. And wouldn't you know it, a pretty close match popped up, facial and voice. She's still alive. Our John Mueller's grieving for nothing. I doubt he'll take our word for it, though. Hang on, he just posted another order. Probably just trying to push our buttons. May as well check the delivery terminal and see what he wants.
Good work. New order available. Please access.
Not yet.
Weapons restrictions lifted. Beginning scan. Scanning bridge design. Stranding Express ID verified. Weapons detected. All weapons will be...
What do we have here? Delivery. From me. So this is what that's for professional release. Alright then. The infamous Chiral network. I'll agree with you.
Across home plate. Raw throat to wait on this wall. Slightly lift the first base line.
What?
And here's the look. And I think what you're seeing right there is the tag on the shoulder just before the hand. It's down. Remember, you need clear and conclusive evidence to overturn. This is a close one. So take a look. Right here. You see the hand not on the plate, and you see the tag being applied. So Bang Bang has got as close as it gets. And you gotta give credit to Officer Jackson, who did a great job getting the flag towards his backhand side and bring the tag back in time. That's great spatial awareness by the young backstop. And a strong throw from Thomas. You see how he has to reach back across. So that's two successful challenges for Kansas City. Kurt's always been running, but the A's did score 3 in the inning regardless, thanks to Alonso. Lawrence Butler, a 3-run shot, and it's 4-1 A's through 4 innings of play.
Do not listen to that.
Thank you.
I know how it feels.
You can get your Burger King Kids Meal and Toy inspired by the Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters May 22nd. Play rated PG-13.
Science is the pursuit of truth. The truth that belongs to 8 billion people. Everyone's searching for the truth that remains. Science just can't explain. I know you wouldn't believe me if I told you, so I'm going to show you. Full disclosure. All at once.
It's more than love that works side. I want a Sunday kind of love. Every blessed Sundays on ESPN and stream on the ESPN app. That was something that no one had ever seen before, ever.
The A's hold the lead down 4-1. That's the scoreline that Game 1 ended up with. Kansas City won 4-1 thanks to Lawrence Butler, a 3-run home run. In a strong offensive fourth for the A's, and now they have a 3-1 lead. Severino has been pitching well, 4-1 with score. Chris Carey, Dallas Breeder, producer of the Blues. So if you're with us on NBC Sports California's coverage of athletics baseball. Tiger Collins. Behind the count of 1-2. One-two pitch, weakly grounded up the middle to his right. McNeil gathers, throws to first, one away.
I'm taking it.
Don't leave it. The military appreciation night is social moments throughout the entire ballgame, recognizing active duty members, veterans, and their families. Purchase of special themed games to receive exclusive camo bucket hat. Locking your seats to be part of a meaningful night at the ballpark at phillies.com/themed games. Military service members and families in the area. He's just a career.
Jack Kennedy on a swing miss, 41. That's on a 13th against the other team from the state reserve. Focused on Kansas City, who's played all over the last 4 games. 4-game winning streak. Last time the Royals were able to win 4 games in a row, you turn the clocks back all the way to August of last year. I like that. Well, I heard that it's what I look good at.
Good, but then I think this is fantastic. 3-2, Kegman on the Ranger on the line. First one issue by Savarino time. That was quick forward and successful. Aggressiveness with the fastball. Check with those pitches. Last game, there's a passing. That's how he was able to his way up for him. The way he did. It's on Caglione.
Begin the scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until the Sam order bridges.
This play went down tonight. Just gives you more insight how well this young man is continuing to develop in the shortstop position. I mean, not in, not out. It feels like you see something special, something flashy for him. And I think that's a number you got to be very happy with. Athletics lead the way in terms of fielding percentage.
John Brett hits Caglione. That's going to be the inning. 4 180s. Rooker leads off the fifth.
Taking on a round of trip. This is more than a rivalry. Match that shuts down the world. On this canvas, one strike can change it all. El Clasico. On ESPN, ESPN Deportes. Lock in. The WNBA is back on ESPN. Caitlin and the Beaver take on AZ and the Wings. And out west, it's a finals rematch between the Aces and the Mercury. Check Saturday, May 9th on ABC and the ESPN app.
Here you please with ever a world of cool kids.
A world of high school. A world of cool friends. And playtime.
This summer, get a 4-day World Park Magic ticket for $109 per day plus tax.
Can we go for the walk?
You gotta sleep.
That was something that no one had ever seen before. Ever.
This upcoming schedule is brought to you by Service Champions. One more against Kansas City tomorrow during the daytime. Then the Cleveland Guardians come to town this weekend. The A's then go on the road to the East Coast to face the Phillies and the Orioles. Let's Rooker leading on. On the fifth for the A's lead 4-1.
Thank you for your contribution.
Rooker sits that walk-off by Brown. You can hear it home. It's
Remember, there was 90 seconds to get to the injuries. Right back into the mix. Keep on keeping others.
care of it. He has found 15 games.
Weapons detected.
He missed 15 more. He can try to get on that side of
I don't think there's a definitive line per se in there, from organization to organization. That may vary.
3-2. In right center field, that's dropping fast, but it will be caught by Thomas right in front of the warning track. Well struck by Rooker, and that's out for one.
Again, I think something else you have to consider is the type of injury.
Go ahead, Brad.
And the good news is, silver lining is that whatever he felt out of the side area that wasn't as serious, it's not that would necessitate an extended time on this. It was slow progression coming back into games. It wasn't a, hey, we want to see him get at bats, take a breather for a day, see how he responds, get him back in there. That's not what it was.
And Wilson now, a ball and a strike. Oh, Deanne McNeil are 2 for 2. Gonna make this one foul the back end of play. What a luxury it is to have both Wilson and McNeil on your squad. And you can plug them basically wherever, and it seems like Marcotte has taken a liking to batting down and back to that situation like this. 2-pitch. And here to center is Coleman catch. 22. Jacob Wilson, a great announcement. Jeff McNeil, great purpose. One of many great features of this ballpark is just how immersive it is for this place. Junior PA announcer. That's how I started broadcasting fields in PA. And I think they got me beat. You got some family in this thing. It wasn't a child PA. They got the jump on it. They started probably 10 years earlier. High school. That's how I started. Working at the top line of the one pitch one to McNeil. And it was good. Best there is. Best there is. I like your Reggie Savage the most. We'll save that for later.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
2 balls and a strike to get off. A lucky fan of the Sunny Baseball that you signed on last night's telecast. Walk 103 pitches with 2 outs to the bottom of the season high for him. It's been for Warriors.
There's a baseball. That's what you want to go home with right there. He's like, sweet, I got a bat and a chew toy for my dog.
And like to hang out at Stranding. Do the sign of mine. 2-2. High in the air to left. Collins moving back in the track at the wall, and it is caught. Gilloff gave it a ride, but it just barely stayed in the ballpark. A's lead by 3 for 5.
Please access delivery terminal 4.
You got us, we got now. Today's moment of this ball game. With every strikeout thrown this season, AbbVie is donating to help fight cancer. Every strikeout, every game, all season long. Major League Baseball and AbbVie, turning K's into W's.
Lost the turn of the set. I can't find a new Eric Cat. You said it was a new Eric Cat? Lost and found. Okay. Hey, it's Corbin Carroll. Had this 948 backs? Yeah, 5. One special's back. Super lightweight. 948. Sounds sick. But you guys what they're going to that back. Okay. Oh, nah, man. That's the end.
Every legend starts somewhere, not in the spotlight, but in the work. It starts here, dialing in your swing, leveling up your look. Then it clicks. You're locked in. Steady. To build an all club. It's your journey, your moment, your show. It's your work. Become a legend. Rated E for everyone.
Breaking news and developing stories from right here at home and across the nation. NBC News with Tom Yamas.
Thank you for your
That's at 6:30 on NBC. Severino back to work. A's scored a 3-run advantage, leading 4-1. Severino at 77 pitches, right where he wants to be against Garcia, who is on the third time he's 0 for 2.
I think hopefully for Sevy, you'd like to see him get through this inning quickly. Baseball and get back out there.
Line shot. Big catch from Ernie. Rob Garcia of at least a single, quite possibly more.
Deep money in the hot corner. Joe Garcia spins on one, barrels it up. Daryl Renee's. See him go into his pre-pitch setup, locked and loaded, ready to leap. Snares that bad boy right out of the air.
Bobby Witt Jr. Strike 1. 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. The lone run for Kansas City tonight. Entering play tonight, Bobby Witt over his last 11 games played, 16 for 47, a 340 average, with 9 extra base hits, 8 RBIs, and 7 runs scored. Luider Avila. Check swing to go. Severino strikes out the superstar.